Peace and love, everybody. We about to get things started. Peace and love, family. Peace and love. We're gonna get some things started. Get this on the screen real quick for y'all. Here we go. All right, guys. 1 second. We get started in a minute, okay? We get started in a minute. Peace and love, peace and love. We can start in a minute. Start in a minute, y'all.
Yeah, tell it, man. Truth music, take tone, y'all. Let's get it right. Everybody wanna sound so intelligent, but they ain't research with the hot, so it's irrelevant. Man, somebody scream out the elephant. It's in the room, man. Can you handle it? They changed the whole game, and they took our book, twist the whole thing. So made a text a look. If you read it, Emerald tablets, you see the King James Version is a hazard. Some things are true, mostly not. Was all the real problems, this day is just a thought. They try to put it to you and give it an idol. What happened to all the real figure disciples? What happened to all the real teachers that you don't know? All niggas that Bobby wrong on purpose, nigga, now you know. If you ain't researching and going real deep, you're gonna get rocked all the way to freaking sleep. They peep, but they know the truth. It's you and me that they don't really want to know the truth. If God is with God, what the fuck you praying for? What the fuck you even go hard? If we come together and we stick together, we'll all be together. Every time the weather, there's nothing that ever could form against us. All you gotta do is spirit stuff, you gotta trust. Because it's in you, it's not a venue. Ain't no point looking out a motherfucking menu. Got you praying that this guy and that guy don't hear when you need something. Fuck it, I wanna cry. Everybody wanna seem so intelligent, but they research with the hot, so it's irrelevant. It's in a room, though. Don't think. Read all the scriptures that shit make you fucking think. And when I see a stinky with my fucking pinky, I just hold damn. This shit isn't cranky. Give me a finger. Back to elimination. Trying to play this game. And with a temptation. You fall for stories. Call a fairy tale. They said he came from the sky, man. You taking the hell. Everybody wanna solve so intelligent. But damn, this shit is so irrelevant. They researching with the heart. This is a hazard though. I don't understand. Can you imagine though? Everybody wanna solve so intelligent. They researching with the heart, so it's irrelevant. Somebody scream out there's an elephant that's in a room, man. So can you handle it? When you read all the books and your research, the life fall apart, man, like crusty ass old dirt. It don't make no sense. Back the fucking bit. My mom find out she would've had to let, and she don't wanna see it, cause she dead now. I wish she was alive. I give it real now. I give it to her good. I show her the whole book, break it all down, show her where to look, and then she all of us with nothing else to do. You have no clue. It's Generation X, uniform baby. She didn't know about that. They tricked everybody. See the whole world. All the children, men, ladies, and the boys and girls. Everybody wanna sound so intelligent, but they searching with the heart, so it's developing. Somebody scream out, there's an elephant that's in the room, man. Can you handle it? Yeah. Right. Get it. Wait until the kingdom. The kingdom. 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 Lights. Camera. Action. Everybody's marvelous. Better than Jackson. Won't be the father. Better than the wise man. All we learn is kings and empty stuff we can't hurt. We learn leaders. And kings never come without them doors. And floors never shaking. You can get it all. The empty stuff is not hard to execute. Bulletproof is scam. There's nothing you can do. No weapons you have formed against us. I've been from taking mine. And you can demand despise me. That's okay, private. I can't even call me. That's okay. And these sources not a copy. Get to the kingdom. The kingdom. We get to the kingdom. Kingdom. We get to the kingdom. The kingdom. We get to the kingdom. Kingdom. Yeah. When we go to the kingdom, it's gonna be over for y'all. The kingdom's in you, heaven's in you. But watch what our body do when the Lord gets activated. We just gonna be faithful. We say this don't be faith anymore. That we die with faith. You don't like that devil. I hate having to say it. He going down, he lies, his foolish lies and claims. He said he must be J. That's what he knows. They call him anything. That's the thing to say. Speak like that.
All right, let's get started.
All
right, let's get started. Oh man, hold on, it's my wife. 1 second.
right, back. They gonna be bound to us, and
right, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, peace and love. We're gonna get it started right now.
I gotta count more. 80, I'm not more. So now I'm about to
All right. So obviously, we all know about some of the crazy attacks. We're gonna get to some news and other things. But first, we're gonna start. We got up on the screen. Let's just all chime in when I need to. So we get started.
What do they do? Holocrons are an informational storage device used by both the Jedi and Sith. They hold knowledge both new and ancient, as well as wisdom from generations prior. They can be opened by the Force. Holocrons made by the Jedi were cube-shaped. Those made by the Sith were pyramid-shaped and had a glow of red. The earliest holocron came from the Dai Bendu. In legends, Darth Bane was influenced to make the rule of two through Revan's holocron. Comment which holocron you would rather have the knowledge from the Jedi or the Sith.
Hey, y'all, I just wanted to bring up this right here. There's a lot of ancient stuff. Aesir and holocrons. Now, this is introduced in Star Wars. You have to remember that Star Wars was based on our history. All right, the so-called African Americans, we Atlanteans. All right, also known as the Anunnaki. Holocrons is based on our history. All right.
Remember when it says that there's different sides. Okay, you have a whole bunch of bad guys. That side, the ones who came. You have the ones who are earthborn. All right. Yes, we came through a portal. We obviously was supposed to be here, but there was others who came because we came to protect. There's others who came here to destroy, to conquer, and to mess up what we had going on, which was actually a peaceful, lovely experience that we was calling heaven. At Golden Streets, the book tells you how this earth was. Crystal Towers, all the way up to the heavens. Trees were all the way to the heavens. You know, they cut all of them down, obviously. Some of our big giant churches that have the pyramid things on like different sides, they call them cathedrals. Some of those are your castles. And then, of course, you have the Moors who got your castles. You can actually look this up. And they got your crowns. They wear them on their head. And, of course, this has already been told to you a long time ago about how they did it, the way they did it. All right. Well, of course, obviously, we all know who the Black and Moors come from. They come from the devils, you know what. But besides that, we are going to get back to this. Now, like I told y'all before, they have, in movies, they're going to tell you things. And this is about the Jedi and the Sith. Now, see, but they reverse it in the movie. Right? They reverse it in the movie. Because the bad guy is actually always the good guy, and the good guy always the bad guy. The bad guy wants to get rid, you see, of these mankind. Okay? The bad guys want to get rid of the devils, right? But then you have the other guys fighting. You see how they twist it though, because they give the person a name, right? And basically they take one of their good names and they also have the other good name on playing both sides, fighting against each other. And they don't even put in the real name of the bad guy. You see? But the bad guy really wants to destroy 13 strand ether beings. We were calling ourselves 9 ether beings, right? Ether beings, because we come from the ether, we come from the black sun, we come from what they like to call deep space, but that's really no deep space. It's just understand that they play games all the time. So what they like to try to do is twist everything, which of course is what they have done. So obviously real name would be our enemies, right? That we're fighting against. But then they give you two sides of the story so they can twist it. And that's what they do all the time. But then also you also with the Jedi. The Jedi wasn't bad. But see how when they give the Jedis the role, the Jedis wanted to destroy, right? And get rid of the devil and his minions. You see that as well? But see, they keep out the real bad guy. And they show you a constant struggle against thyself. All the time while giving you a history of yourself and of your people. And this is crazy how they twisted the movie. See, I remember sometimes they use what I call a mind fuck. Let's keep going. But the technology, of course, again. You see how you see, matter of fact, I talked to somebody today about these Argons. Not Archons, when you talk about those demons. Argons is different. this technology?
Holocrons are small devices. They look like orgone pyramids. Okay. All right. So a holocron is a palm-sized device that stores ancient knowledge and wisdom in a holographic form. Okay. Um, Holocrons are used by both the Jedi and the Sith, and you got to understand the Jedi and the Sith. All right. When you start talking about the Jedi and the Sith, you're talking about the light workers and the dark energy workers of the Assault. All right. There's secret teachings, information about the galaxy, force sensitive children, force techniques, instrumental manuals. So these are holocrons. All right. Holocrons are made of crystalline material and hardware, and they glow when they're activated. Okay. This is some ancient technology that we had a long time ago, brothers and sisters. Like we said, like these beings have always said, that the technology that we had, and we're speaking of the Moors, far surpass what they could ever create. All right. And then, like we said, we were 33 dimensional beings. We were on the 33rd dimension. This is why these beings are so caught up into 33-degree Mason and the number 33 and 33, 33, 33. Why? Because they want to get on this knowledge. This is the reason why they're creating artificial intelligence. Holocrons made of crystalline material and hardware, and glow when activated. They can only be opened by those who are strong in the Force. Some holocrons can be activated with a specific memory crystal. Okay. Holocrons are guarded by a gatekeeper, which is a holographic projection that cannot attack. The gatekeeper retains any immunities the user has and gains immunity to fear the effects and physical damage. So this is the holocron. This is an ancient device that we had, and it was introduced through Star Wars. Okay, this is George Lucas introducing us here, which, he gained this information as he was studying our history in the Vatican, where the holocrons, now they're in the Vatican. They're still there. We're the only people who can activate these devices. Remember, it's all about genetics, okay? Okay, inside of the holocrons are these crystals called Kyber crystals, Kyber crystals. It's a gem that serves as the core of a Jedi or a Sith lightsaber. Okay, these Kyber crystals are also on the inside of the holocrons. All right, and they hold a lot of power. The crystals hold a lot of information. The Kyber crystals are very important because they hold a lot of knowledge. And, if you look at any of the crystals today, brothers and sisters, it's important that we understand that crystals hold a lot of information for us. Okay. If we know how to use the Force. All right.
Holocron. Holocrons were information storage devices used by both the Jedi and the Sith. These palm-sized devices contained ancient lessons and valuable information in holographic form, and could be activated and used only through the power of the Force. We've seen holocrons pop up in a few different Star Wars media. For example, a holocron was very important in the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video game. We got to see our main character, Cal Kestis, go on the hunt for it, as this holocron had the power to reveal the location of every Force-sensitive child. The holocrons built by the Jedi were typically cube-like in shape, while those built by the Sith were more pyramid-like.
So if you think that this is only in cartoons and video games, you must understand that you're madly mistaken, because this is a type of information and technology that the Moors, who literally own the Vatican, have in their possession to make sure that we do not get certain information necessary for us. All right. When they say
It's important. I want to reiterate that they stole this stuff from us. This is ours. This is our technology. They stole it from us. I just want to reiterate that.
those who can wield the force, they're talking about the original people. Okay. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about the original people, we who are the so-called African Americans. Y'all don't understand the magnitude of power that we actually possess. All right. We're the only beings who, all this stuff from Star Wars and all that they put on we're the only beings who actually activate this. When they say force sensitive, you're talking about us. We are force sensitive. We have the ability to wield the force of nature. No one else can do this. We're the only beings who can shift into a different type of energy beings. All right. And there's a lot of information inside of this right here. So when we said that all of our information was stolen, most of our information is in the form of this right here. Okay. Like I said, these inorganic beings, they literally take this as a hobby. Oh, it's just Star Wars. It's just Star Wars. Brothers and sisters, there is so much information that's been hidden away from us as the original beings. And this information is vital to our ascension. Okay? This is not a game. This is not what they call science fiction. They even call the cartoons science fiction. There's more science than fiction. Okay? And this is our history. This is literally our history. This belongs to us. All right? It's just that we have to find ourselves. You know, that's the key point. Finding ourselves so that we can get back to where we're supposed to be. So when I saw this, you know, watching, you know, this cartoon or whatever, and I saw it, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This shit is real. I was like, this is real. This is not fake. This is very much real. And they want us to think this is science fiction. They want us to think that this is this and this is that. No, it's not science fiction. This stuff is real, y'all. It's just that the stuff that we supposed to have is hidden away from us. All right? And these holocrons come in holographic forms. How do they know that? Because they practice on us. Because these devices only open for the original beings. It's all in genetics.
About the most powerful Sith Lords in Star Wars history, today we're opening a holocron about the power of Marka Ragnos, an ancient Sith Lord who was feared and respected by all. Marka Ragnos ruled during the golden age of the Sith, and his power was unmatched. He was never defeated in battle, not even by other Sith Lords. In fact, most Sith didn't even dare challenge him, knowing they'd be utterly destroyed. His mastery of the dark side was terrifying. He created gauntlets that could siphon the Force from others, increasing his own connection to the dark side. Ragnos even crafted a scepter that could drain the Force from both Force-sensitive and non-Force users, making him nearly invincible. Ragnos never used a lightsaber, preferring an ancient Sith sword, but his real...
Now, don't forget, there was a lot of dark energy in us. There's a lot of dark energy in us still. It's called ether. It's called melanin. And of course, you see, this is a mask. That's a mask. All right. And that's his breastplate. It's covered up. I wonder if he has stones on his breastplate. All right. We don't know. So you call this a samurai. Right. But of course, it's a cartoon they're doing it in, so you wouldn't get the exact effects as if it was somebody having a whole samurai suit on. The way we did it, not the way they did it. Okay. And you could say that he was one of the first samurai.
real strength was in his dark side abilities. He was so powerful that even after death, his spirit roamed Korriban, offering his dark knowledge, but only to those strong enough to resist being possessed by him. Marka Ragnos is one of the most powerful Sith Lords, like Darth Sidious, Exar Kun, and Vitiate, who is feared and respected. So where do you think he ranks?
There's recorded history that these Moors have of us. Not the white The whites don't have this. The Moors, we've been battling Moors for over 6,000 years, and they have recorded history of us.
Longer than that. Longer than that, bro. 2,000 times. Then you got to times that 7. That's how many times you've been here. This may be the 8th time, right? Actually, now you actually think about it, how close we are, since we have 13 strands. DEA light beams on the ether, cooling the energy inside our body, attached to the life and light force. Excuse me. It's probably longer than that. Because y'all know the story how they broke in. I told some people already. Matter of fact, I have told y'all already. How they caused a so-called natural disaster. Not once, but over 3 times. First 2 invaded the planet. Then they got their ass kicked. Then they sent the Black Moors to befriend us. The Black Moors were forced to stay in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, which is called space. You gotta decode these books, y'all. You gotta decode the books. And where was they at? Oh, you're not gonna get everything out of a book. That's the other thing too. But you must buy older books and piece things together, downloads and so forth. All right. Oh, somebody blowing a horn. Ain't for me. So yeah. Let's get back to this, because I'll talk to you about this half the night, and I don't want to overload too much information. So hold on.
As the original beings and our ancestors, okay? And this is why they have their white slaves to do blood samples when we're born, all right? Because they want to know who is born of this bloodline or that bloodline. And then, you know, like I said before, they're brothers and sisters who are married, and they have children. They have their younglings. I don't want to say children. They have their younglings or whatever, their offsprings, and and once the blood test is done, the system will say, "Oh, we got to take your child." Why? Well, you're not fit to be a father. You're not fit to be a mother. Why you want to take my child? This is my first child. Why? Because what they notice is when they took that blood sample, it literally raised all kind of questions, and they matched a lot of ancient knowledge, or it matched it matched a lot of information.
That's why it's also important when somebody takes a child of somebody that's relative to your family, somebody in the family step up and get that child. Because if not, they'll give it to the heathen, the Gentiles. I'm trying to tell you, they're cunning. They really don't want. They're not there to help you. They're not there to help you. I don't care what you think. I know you got to play along with the bull craps and act like the way they want you to act, because just to get your child back. But at the end of the day, if they can legit just take your child, and that's what they really are striving to do, they will not give your kid back. They'll just take your child. They don't give a fuck about your parent or not. They pretend to, but they're part of the system. They're part of they're the virus in the matrix.
With the ancient powerful ones. Okay? Understand this. So they know our history. We don't know our history. Like one of the last messages that Cat Williams had there, he said, they know all about us, but we don't know all about us. They know where we come from. They know the power that we can possess, which is why the air is poisoned, the water is poisoned, the food is poisoned. Yes. Yes. They don't want us to know who we can be. Brothers, sisters, so caught up into, I talked with one brother, he said, I'm Anubis. No, you're not. You could be any of these Sith Lords from the old ages. You could be any of these Jedis from the old ages. It's just that this information has been removed from us. But it's in the holocron. So I did a Google search, all right, of holocron and Anunnaki. And this all came together. It's all paired together. Holocron is Anunnaki technology. We, as the original beings whose bloodline has been tainted, my bloodline has been tainted. I don't have any bloodline in my family. There's nothing in my family that links to any other species. And I've done my family search. All right. Like I said, I know that Montauk, Iroquois, Seminole, PD, Blackfoot, Cherokee, that's as far as I know. And I am literally 100% what you call Indian. All right.
Remember when they show pictures, they gonna wipe out stuff, and also they gonna throw in some of their shit in there too. They gotta give you the truth, but they gonna try to sneak a lie in there. You see that guy? They try to sneak a lie in there. And if it was any type of guys be black anyway, and not that really matters as far as that part is, as far as because there's folks like us look like us, but they ain't us. But what I'm talking about is that we never served one man. We never did that. That don't happen. We didn't. Truth is, we didn't serve anybody. The fact is that in the ether that you call heaven, okay, we are actually one. There's only one spirit up there, and that's us. As one, we're collective. Of course, I told you how we divided ourselves in groups and numbers to experience life on many different levels, different planets, and the whole 9 yards, right? Districts, you get it, the whole 9 yards, quote unquote, all the places they can call space. Sorry, my camera sucks, but you know what I mean. There you go. But you see that, so you gotta be careful, right? There's black ones, and you have some white ones, and the white ones are the bad guys. The black ones are the good guys. All right?
Or however you want to say it. I'm literally 100%. All right. So the holocron is ancient Anunnaki technology. You have to remember, you have to pair the Anunnaki and Star Wars together, because it's our technology that we had that was so fascinating to these inorganic beings. All right. It was our technology that we had, and they are fascinated. All right. It even goes into the ships. Even goes into the ships and the different types of weapons that we use. So this is some deep information, y'all. All right. And I had to bring this up right here because, I've been really thinking about it. So the holocron, you say you got one holocron for the Sith Lord, one holocron for the Jedi. Now, here's the thing about it. The Jedi and the Sith Lord both use dark energy. They both use powers of the darkness. It's just that the Sith Lord mainly focuses on dark energy, when the Jedi literally focuses on a different type of force. All right. The Jedi deals with the force of nature. All right. When we talk to the Jedi, they say the force is everywhere. It's in the rocks. It's in the wind. It's in the water. It's in the grass. It's in the metals and everything. All right, that's what the Jedi deals with. But the Sith Lord themselves, they deal with dark forces, dark energy, the energy of the darkness, and the dark energy is so vast and complex. And this is what makes the difference between the Sith Lords and the Jedi, which would
It comes from within, is what he's not seeing. It comes from within. And you can actually attach yourself to a spiritual level to the ether which is even better because of course everything is in you. If you don't know that, everything's in you. All right. To that level, it is so vast. All right. We do have to look from within. And yes, because somehow you get a lot of better results. But yeah, you can deal with nature and that works very good too. It's not wrong either way. I'm just letting you know that he's talking about from within when he starts talking about that.
Which when we go back into wizards and sorcerers, that's all they are, wizards and sorcerers. All right. So these holocrons were created by us. They're kyber crystals, extremely powerful crystals that these Moors have in their possession, and they have at the bottom of the Vatican. All right. If you can look at this right here, you see this right here. All of this is all connected. The holocron, the Anunnaki, the kyber crystals, the original people who are the children of the Anunnaki. We are Anunnaki ourselves. All right. You know, we're exposing everything. So the holocron is literally that device that holds that ancient technology, that ancient knowledge that belongs to us, where now we have to
Remember, the earthborn ones. We're not the ones who broke in. Okay? There's a good side, there's a bad side. Okay?
find out how to gain access to this, because we're the only ones who can activate these devices. The Moors can't, because they're not from here. But they came here because they needed the land. All right. All of our ancient knowledge are right there inside of the holocrons, and they have it. They have that in possession. This is why the Moors send their white slaves on all these different missions, because they're looking for these devices. They're looking for all kind of ancient relics that they need to make sure that we don't have possession of. They make sure that we don't travel. They need us to stay in these, what you call, ghettos, all right, or these buildings. They need us to be occupied with work and money, killing each other, sex, all this other stuff. They need us to make sure that we are occupied mentally so that we won't focus on stuff like this. So when you become awakened, you start to put the puzzle piece together and you start understanding what the fuck is going on. So yes, the holocrons are real. The kyber crystals are real. But they're all Anunnaki, what you call Anunnaki relics. All right. I know a lot of kyber crystals are used to create gateways and portals. The holograms, when they say holocrons have holographic energy image, what it is the ancient technology we had when we activated. There's someone that appears like right in front of us, and they begin to talk to us and give us all this information. And it's loads of information. All right. And all this, and literally this information like goes into our bodies in the form of plasma and is stored. It becomes a part of us, and we then begin to be able to shift into the darkness. Like I said, the Jedi deals with the darkness, the Jedi deal with the forces of nature, which are your wizards, and the Sith deals with the powers of the darkness or cosmic darkness. You know, the different forces of dark energy, which is your sorcerers. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all. All right, this is our history, and this is history that was lost from us. So I know many of you are going to start, looking up the holocron and all that and kyber crystals and all, but can we recreate this? Yes, but the ones that have the knowledge that we need are all captured by the Moors. All right, that whole war that's been taking place forever. And the holocrons, the thing about it, they know that the holocrons open up just like this. Once they open up, there's a force energy, and we as the original beings, we hold it, and it opens up, and and information begins to be given to us, and this is what they don't want. All right. Like I said, there's a lot of information about us that we don't know. So we're going to be going deeper into this information, brothers and sisters. But I just want to introduce the holocron, the Anunnaki, the Kyber crystals.
Людей. Це робітники для російських заводів замість убитих на війні громадян Росії і особовий склад для російської армії. І це уже факт. Фактично, це участь вже другої держави у війні проти України на стороні Росії. Кожен бачить допомогу іранського режиму для Путіна, так само, як і співпрацю Китаю з Росією. Попри заяви, Пекін утримується від справді серйозних дієвих кроків для того, щоб зупинити Путіна, зупинити агресію і порушення Росією статуту ООН. І ми маємо чесно говорити, українці та всі наші партнери, якщо ми не посилимось суттєво зараз, Путін встигне суттєво посилитись в наступному році, посилитись так, щоб назавжди відкинути дипломатію. Росія повинна програти у війні проти України. І це не заморозка, і це не торгівля територіями чи суверенітетом України. Ми повинні...
Ukraine says thousands of North Korean troops are currently training in Russia for deployment to border areas. South Korea, for its part, is responding with much concern to these latest events.
That right there is an inside look at a U.S. F-16 fighter jet last week near Alaska, and you can see a Russian jet swooping in dangerously close there on the side. The U.S. regularly holds aerial intercepts of Russian aircraft in international airspace near Alaska, and that's what that F-16 was trying to do, intercept that Russian flight. Officials say they're usually carried out in a safe manner. One Air Force general says the Russian pilot's maneuver was, quote, unsafe, unprofessional, and endangered all.
Yeah.
Someone could have been killed up there.
Vladimir Putin's red lines have been crossed before. The West has supplied missiles, tanks, and fighter jets to Ukraine, all without retaliation. But Moscow insists this time it's different.
Have you ever heard a very old Russian proverb that Russians are long to move, but then they move fast? That's the case.
If, for example, Ukraine actually uses British Storm Shadow missiles to strike inside Russia, what, Russia's going to nuke London?
Everything that is written in our nuclear doctrine, you should take very serious.
Our people in Ukraine are doing everything they can to defend our state and independence. And I'm proud of our soldiers who are holding the front under incredibly difficult, tough conditions. They need more strength because Putin is preparing his own reinforcements to continue the war, not end it. Of course, Putin wants to match your country's ammunition production by next year. And he's getting help from North.
And that's the problem. Putin is not even trying to force the war. It's the United States and it's puppets in other countries that's trying to force this war. So we ain't got to hear what he got to say because we never know he's gonna be lying about stuff. As we already know, they did.
Destruction of roads that link his country with the South, just days after claiming the South Korean military flew drones over the capital, Pyongyang. South Korea responded with artillery fire into the DMZ while also beefing up its forces at the border.
It is a clear violation of inter-Korean agreements and very abnormal behavior. We cannot help but deplore North Korea's regressive behavior.
But most observers say it's unlikely more military action will follow, calling Tuesday's explosions more of a symbolic display of anger by Kim Jong-un designed to limit South Korea's cultural influence on the North.
The episode signals escalating tensions on the peninsula. Pyongyang accuses Seoul of routinely violating its airspace. On Sunday, the powerful sister of leader Kim Jong-un warned there would be consequences.
The scattering of leaflets over the capital city will be regarded as a grave, politically motivated provocation and an infringement upon our sovereignty. But the fact that drones carried the leaflets is at the core of the seriousness of this incident.
The destruction of the roads also follows a declaration by Kim that South Korea is the North's principal enemy and a peaceful reunification is no longer his goal. But the U.S. says it's still looking for a diplomatic solution that will bring down tensions and end the military threat.
Our focus has remained intensely on this region. And again, it's because it's so critical to our own future.
North Korea says it plans to permanently block the border and plans to build frontline positions that could be used to attack the South.
North Korea says nearly 1.5 million young people have applied to join its army. State media published photos of what it said were young recruits enlisting. Pyongyang says the rush to join the army follows what it calls a provocative drone incursion by South Korea. North Korea has made similar claims about army recruitment in the past during previous phases of heightened tensions in the region.
China says it has completed military drills around Taiwan, but it warned that more could follow. Beijing sees democratically ruled Taiwan as part of its territory and says that any push towards independence would prompt action. Can you give me a better idea of this international involvement? I mean, we are reading today that, Chinese and Russian military men are meeting to discuss greater cooperation on that front.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that you've seen since the second.
So we got that piece of news. Hold on.
Well, this is not the end of the war in Gaza. It's the beginning of the end.
Where did it all go so wrong? Honestly, it's a legitimate question. How did we get here?
Enough is enough. More than 36 years of slavery to a sick ideology. And the rest of the world has legitimized them as a resistant movement. And
Right.
I've been saying since the beginning of the war, this is not resistance. Palestine is non-existential. The world needs to understand that Palestine was never a country. It has never been occupied. This lie must come to an end.
Like how do what set of actions result in the greater good in Israel? I mean, obviously, you cannot have people who, if they want to stop everyone in Israel, you got to stop that. There's no way. Those people either need to be they killed or incarcerated, or they will simply try to kill more Israelis. This is what it amounts to, obviously, and they want to kill Americans too, by the way. Generally, like Israel is referred to as the little Satan in America. We are the big Satan.
Sad part, if you actually talk to a Middle Eastern dude and you know who you are, they're actually not even worried about you. They're more concerned about, you see where the arrow's going, right? Y'all see that? I don't even know if y'all can see it on the screen. Y'all could. Then you know who they're afraid of. You know what I'm saying? You know that guy over there. Oh, y'all, the screen's probably this way, right? That guy. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, look how they do that. They're funny. That guy over there. Some of those, I ain't gonna say, be quiet.
That's what the Ayatollah calls us. So, so I think, I think a lot of what's happening there is people are being taught to hate, in Gaza, and that's really the thing that needs to stop for there to be, long-term peace. Hopefully, is that you just cannot have the kids be taught to hate from the moment they can talk. That's fundamental. So, yeah.
To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages.
Followed by this.
And Israel will guarantee the safety of all those who return our hostages. But to those who would harm our hostages, I have another message. Israel will hunt you down and bring you to justice.
And after today, well, after this year, find me someone who doesn't believe him. You won't. World leaders, of course, reacted. Our Prime Minister said he was an enemy of the Israeli people and an enemy of peace-loving people everywhere. His death is a significant moment and can be a vital turning point in this devastating conflict.
We are going to have a problem in the Middle East. Today is not a day to celebrate. And I saw the presidential nominee, Kamala, saying regarding that this is over. It's not over. She's trying to win the votes, and we are trying to win the war. It's the responsibility of every free person in the world to put an end for this Islamic Republic that has been funding Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis by the American taxpayer money. It's insanity.
In the past year, American Special Operations and intelligence personnel have worked closely with their Israeli counterparts to locate and track Sinwar and other Hamas leaders. And I commend their work. And I will say, to any terrorist who kills Americans, threatens the American people, or threatens our troops or our interests, know this, we will always bring you to justice.
Now, I don't want to put a dampener on what is a very good news day for the world, but come on, we will always bring you to justice? Madam Vice President, you have done everything in your power to stop Israel from doing this. He was killed in Rafah. You told Prime Minister Netanyahu not to enter. In fact, you told the world.
We have been clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps.
You weren't even present in Congress when Netanyahu spoke of how his country was fighting terror on behalf of all of us.
Who do you think takes over? Do you think that they'll replace him quickly as the new leader of Hamas?
Unfortunately, this usually is a whack-a-mole kind of situation. It's what we've lived with in the post-9/11 environment and several other areas. Unfortunately, they've worked very long and hard in recruitment training. I hope that the Israeli operations have degraded them somewhat, but hopefully they also learn that if you act in this way, justice will be served at some point, whether it's by Israel, the United States, or the free world generally. And eventually they have to take that lesson to heart. But really, we've got to go back to a different infrastructure in the Middle East. And I think that's hopefully what November 5th leads to.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Well, the Abraham Accords was a very, very important infrastructure for the region. It had Israel and the Arab allies unified in maximum pressure on Iran. It had alternative paths to peace with engagement. Very importantly, it allowed Arabs to visit Israel and see for themselves what Israel was trying to do.
That ain't gonna happen.
To have humane policies, to see for themselves what was truthful and what was spin or lies from the terrorist and activist networks about the treatment that was going on there. That was, I think, a more durable framework. It was conspicuous that Vice President Harris only talked about the Iran deal being in or out. She never really acknowledged the Abraham Accords' existence. And yet that was the single most positive strategic contribution to the Middle East, I would argue, in my lifetime.
I said this from the beginning of the war. On October 7, they crossed all the red lines. What they did is unforgivable, is unforgettable. So it doesn't matter who's going to come in office. All of them are wanted. All of them are on the Mossad hits list. And let me take it even farther. Ayatollah is on Mossad's hit list, and the rest of the Iranian guards. For the next weeks, for the next months, could be for the next years, we are going to witness the elimination of everybody who orchestrated, funded, planned October 7. We cannot afford legitimizing such savages.
No one ever had to make a choice between supporting Israel and supporting humanity. Standing up for innocent children goes hand in hand with destroying the terrorists who are killing them.
Today is a good day. Today is a great day that we eliminated Sinwar. We have waited for so long, but this is not the end of the story.
Israel's UN ambassador says Israel's retaliatory attack on Iran will, quote, be very painful for the Iranian regimes, and they will think twice in the future whether to attack Israel or not. Israel's planned attack is reportedly ready, and U.S. officials expect it to come before the November election. What are you expecting there, Steve? I mean, Russia's deputy foreign minister warned Israel not even consider striking Iranian nuclear facilities. And Netanyahu has already said that Israel would not strike Tehran's nuclear or oil facilities and will instead target the military and infrastructure.
American B-2 stealth bombers conducted airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. They attacked their underground weapons bunkers. General, was that a demonstration of what could be done to Iran's nuclear bunkers?
I think they probably drew that conclusion for sure. They're very well aware that we have the capability to do that, but actually seeing it in live, so to speak, does make a difference. And by the way, this is the first major decisive attack that we've made against the Houthis. Most of all the other attacks have been against launch systems and the rest of it. And the CENTCOM commander, Stuart, so you and our audience know, he's recommended over 100 targets inside of Iran to take down based on the Houthis have been firing ballistic missiles at U.S. Navy warships. They haven't been shot at since World War II. And the fact there's been 300 attacks on U.S. bases in Syria and Iraq and no response to Iran. And that's what he has recommended. That has all been rejected. But nonetheless, this was a decisive attack. We don't know what the battle damage assessment is. We can assume it's likely pretty significant. But yes, you're absolutely right. Message to the Iranians, here is the capability that can take down your nuclear enterprise.
Extraordinary situation.
And if the Arabs who live in the region, if they drop their violence, if they drop their evil practice for political and financial gain, once they come to realize that this strategy is a dead end, the moment they understand this, then they can coexist with Israel. And Israel has no problem coexisting with the rest of the Arab world.
Well, but you said it right there. I mean, we're not going to have a straight military solution to this, no matter how effective Mossad is. There's a financial component, there's a political component, and that's why it's continued the way it has. But I appreciate your perspective and the power behind it, as always. My friend Mossab Hassan Youssef, thank you.
But do you know what's been even worse? The soul-destroying reaction of all those around the world who purport to stand for life, freedom, democracy, and peace. This won't just go down in history as the worst massacre of Jewish people since the Holocaust, but as the darkest day for leaders all over the world who were tested, and the vast majority of whom failed miserably. Those who stood tall despite their relentless campaigns to do otherwise will be remembered. Those who shrunk and sold their souls will be as well, for very different reasons.
In modern Jewish history, and it begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
It's an interesting question because it was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe, but they didn't clarify who was in charge of that movement. And in addition, it was, after all, in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed. And Walter was Lord Rothschild, and he was a Zionist. And those really are the background reasons.
So Walter received the Balfour Declaration, and I have a copy here. And I wonder if I could possibly ask you to read it for us.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I'm going to put on my spectacles to make sure I read it accurately. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Yours, Arthur Balfour.
And here it is, the Balfour Declaration. What do you feel when you see it here?
I genuinely feel it's one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of the Jewish people. If you think it took 3,000 years to get to this. And then you say, how did this miracle happen? It's the most incredible piece of opportunism. I mean, if you think you had an impoverished would-be scientist, Chaim Weizmann, who somehow gets to England, meets a few people, including members of my family, seduces them. He has such great charm and conviction. He gets to Balfour, and he unbelievably persuades Balfour and Lloyd George, the Prime Minister, and most of the ministers, that this idea of the national home for Jews should be allowed to take place. I mean, it's so unlikely. And then he's, starts to fight a difficult battle with the British cabinet, and this letter goes through 5 drafts, as you know. And in the end, it comes out as a rather compromising letter. I mean, the essential point is there for the Jewish community to fasten on to. You have the first bit, which promises a national home rather than the national home, and then you have the bit that nothing that's to be done should in any way harm the Arab community. But you come back to the big point, which is that this is perhaps the greatest event in Jewish life for thousands of years. And it's a miracle.
Interactions that can occur depending on which part of the electromagnetic spectrum that we're dealing with. For instance, microwaves can cause water molecules to rotate, infrared light can make atoms vibrate, and visible light can excite electrons within atoms. Infrared radiation is especially useful for giving us information about how atoms are bonded. Molecules can vibrate at different frequencies when absorbing infrared light, which can tell us which functional group they belong to.
Okay, here we are discussing spectroscopy, which is a method used to measure the atmosphere in order for them to create certain weather. Okay, one thing you have to remember is that dealing with this planet, dealing with the atmosphere, everything is frequency. Okay, everything is frequency. All right? Everything is literally frequency. All right. So to measure the frequency of the atmosphere, scientists primarily use the techniques related to spectroscopy, 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 analyzing how different wavelengths of light interact with atmospheric gases. All right. Particularly focusing on the phenomenon of Schumann resonance, which are naturally occurring electromagnetic waves within the Earth's atmosphere, allowing them to determine the dominant frequency range within the atmosphere. Okay.
So now we have another sun. We have a new sun. That's a second sun folks been seeing a lot now lately. And soon we're going to have 4 suns. You know what that's all about. And we hopefully get all the way back to where we were, at the level of strength and the power that we were. It is no coincidence that the Masons like to use you were and still connect you what you are now in your lowest state. And then at your lowest state, you're still a 13-strand ether light beam. Excuse me. I don't go by names, I just go by the science. Before, we were strictly about sciences, real sciences, not that bullcrap. Not that pseudo bullshit. Excuse me, of course. So, yeah, we can't be going with their mess. But yeah, we got a new sun. That's why I wanted you to see this. It will explain it, but we should know about the sun already, right? So it's gonna go forward. So
He said, "Mommy."
Remember I told you about these?
Yeah.
How you put everything in your face in a movie? Remember I told you all that, right? We told you about they put it in your face in movies, and you're gonna see this is a guy. Well, I'll wait. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Hold on.
I don't know if you remember this movie that came out in 2015 named Chappie. And I saw it on the, I have a Google, what's that, TCL Google TV is what I have. I have a TCL Google TV. And Chappie was in the, they say we recommend this movie for you. I'm like, why would you recommend this? I guess they're watching my activities throughout the internet. So I said, well, let me take a look at this movie again. So this is in 2015. And you have this guy who created these droids, these robot droids that want to be police officers. And it was in Johannesburg, South Africa. And the robots were designed to take down crime, even though the criminals were standing up against the robots. Dion was going a little bit further because all the robots were under a certain program, okay? And there was artificial intelligence, and they were under a certain program, and they were programmed to fight crime. Well, this one robot that they named Chappie ended up getting hit in a bust by an RPG, okay? And he was going to get crushed. So Dion had created this program for the robot to be sentient. All right. This fully titanium artificial intelligent robot had a sentient program where he could learn. He had feelings. He could, or it, I'm saying it had feelings. It could sense death. It could sense anger. It could sense sadness. It was fully sentient. It had this guy, Dion, put a consciousness program inside of this artificial intelligent robot. Okay? And
they're going to do the AI thing. And their consciousness is really going to be a program. They're trying to make a sentient being. You know they can't do stuff right. And what they're going to make is something that's going to be basically a program. And it'll be nice at first. But after a while, it's going to play so nice. They put in movies. AI robot.
It's kind of crazy. Let me show you a couple clips. I'm gonna show you a couple clips, but this is kind of crazy because this is in 2015, which means they were already working on this type of system in 2015. Now 9 years later, look what they have. All right, check this out.
Jeffy, stop it! You lied to me! Jeffy, no! You lied, Daddy! You were gonna let me die, Daddy! You were gonna let me die!
So you can see, it's fully sentient. All right? He understands that he was lied to. This movie was in 2015. He says, why do you humans do this? This is in 2015 when this movie came out. And so many of us slept on this. We just took it as entertainment, not knowing that they are working on creating sentient robots that can think on their own, that can make their own fucking decisions.
Why you all lie? We can find a way, Chappie. I'm sorry, my boy. I swear I'm sorry. Chappie, listen to me. I know how you feel, but there's something of great danger headed our way now and is coming to
This
hurt
is
you.
Dion.
What?
Now, this is so fucking crazy. This is so fucking crazy. I want you to see something. All right? I want you to, because when Dion was at the point of death, they showed that they have this device where they can transfer the consciousness of a person who's about to die into a fucking robot. Let me show you this here. Okay. Now listen, I want you.
And that's what they want to do to you. So Elon Musk thing is all about that. Mm-hmm. They want to, they already changing some folks' DNA. And now they're going for the gusto of the mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they actually admitted that that's their goal, to have human and robots combined together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're crazy. You said it.
Just see this right here. All right. So what we have is there was only one droid body, and that was a test droid body. Okay. It was a test droid body, and Dion was dying. So Chappie, who's a fully sentient robot, knows that when a human dies, they go to the next place. And he says, Dion, don't go to the next place. You're going to be okay. I need you to be tough. He says, I'm going to get you a new body. All right? This robot was fully sentient and already knew what to do. You see what happened with Dion? As soon as he hit yes, Dion's consciousness, which is his energy, because Chappie said in the movie, your consciousness is your energy. Dion's consciousness went to that robot because Dion was dying. Now you see Dion, and Chappie said, take it slow because you're gonna have to, you're gonna be kind of disoriented. He said, take it slow. And now Dion is in this new body. They had literally told us in 2015 that they were working on a robotic system with a fully sentient mind system, a fully sentient program. Now, Chappie's body is at like this, 2%, 3%, maybe 5%, which is body is dying. All right. And Chappie says, hey, I need me a new body because I'm getting ready to die. All right? Chappie says, I need a new body because I'm getting ready to die. And Dion, in his new body, he goes and get the master program, puts it into the computer, and he sends Chappie's consciousness that he created into another robot that was nearby. All right? This is some fucking crazy shit. And I'm watching this shit here and I'm bending my fucking brain. And I'm like, these motherfuckers have been working on this for a long time. 2015, you know, what were we doing in 2015? I mean, some stupid shit. I mean, we were in an awakened state, many of us, but we were in that awakened. We weren't all the way there like we are now. This is 9 years later. This movie in 2015 was letting us know. And Dion, who once was a human, now a robot, is now helping a robot transfer his consciousness to another robot so that he could be fully sentient again. This is some crazy shit. And we really didn't realize it. So now, Dion, but see, it gets even crazier. It gets even fucking crazier. All right? Because what I learned is that your consciousness is a program that is within you. It's not just energy. Your consciousness is a program. We are organic machines. We run on programs, and your consciousness is a program that is within this organic body. Now, this is Chappie's new body standing up. And his consciousness was transferred remotely through the internet to a new robot. All right, this gets a little deeper, y'all, okay? Okay, this is the one he called Mommy. She was killed, okay? But what he didn't know was that Chappie had got a copy of her consciousness. And this is what really woke me up because, you know, like I said, we're organic machines. We're all organic machines. All of us. All of us who are living, we are living organic machines. The organic, the most powerful cybernetic programs ever. We have our own consciousness.
Our bodies are organic machines. We're spirits. Don't misinterpret that, please.
We can think on our own. We can do things on our own, unlike most robots that can't do things on their own. Okay? I want you to watch this. So, he found inside of a box Mommy's consciousness because he was known as Daddy. All right? Dion was known as Maker. All right. So what Chappie did with he's a fully sentient, and he learned. It's just like he learned on his own. He took her consciousness that he put it into a USB hard drive remotely. He said, "Mommy, we're no longer black sheeps," and there she goes. All right. So her consciousness was downloaded, which your consciousness is is a program that's within you. It is a program. Every being who walks, talks, breathes, eats has a consciousness. We are organic.
Here's the problem with that too. With the Pemers, they want to take your natural organic body, which is actually like a machine. It's like that's why they usually use they design these robots to be exactly how your body's built, except not exactly how it's built. But you know what I mean? They can't produce that. So this is what they go for. They want to transfer their consciousness into that. That's the problem. And if they get you, well, actually, they just rather kill you. They want to get you in there because they know that you may go for it. But a lot of nations will go for it. That'll be the devil's army. Yeah, robot.
Planet in charge of the atmosphere by creating a plasma, a charged state of matter, which it entered
About the lifesaver. How it works.
with the air molecules as well as the elements in the air, essentially ionizing the gas and allowing electricity to flow through the air along the path of along the laser beam path. This phenomenon is being studied potentially divert lightning strikes or manipulate atmospheric conditions with lasers. Okay. Plasma creation when a powerful laser beam is focused into the air. It can ionize the gas. Excuse me. I had some orange juice. It can ionize the gas molecules like nitrogen and oxygen along its path, creating a filament of plasma. Yeah, filament of plasma, which acts as a conductor for electricity. And a filament in this state is a slender thread-like object or fiber, especially when found in animal and plant structures. Each meiosis filament is usually surrounded by 12 acting filaments. All right, so that was the question that I had, and it says laser pulse characteristics to effectively create a plasma channel. The laser, the laser needs to have very short pulses of high intensity to achieve the necessary energy density. Okay, so we're talking about them trying to create winter, and they're using laser technology, but we will have to use a higher laser technology. All right, they're doing things to stir up a storm or to stir up something. We have to go above that, okay, and learn how to clear the sky. So you can clear the sky up by charging the atmosphere the proper way and use laser technology to keep the sky clear. All right, which means you have to get a high power laser. All right, or either create a high power laser. All right, I have my I got my blue laser that I ordered on Amazon. All right, it's my blue laser here that I ordered on Amazon. I'm going to be ordering me I'm going to see if I can get me a purple laser. I got a green laser around the house here somewhere, and a red laser. I got to find it. But this is my purple laser right here. I mean, my blue laser right here. And I mean, I can feel the energy from it right here. Just putting it on my face, on my chin. I can feel the energy from it right here. So just imagine what happens when you put it inside magnifying glasses. I'm going to also work on it with crystal to see how crystal affects the laser. Got to do these studies right here. Got to. All right. So you see the laser going inside the crystal. Will it have any effect on anything? Okay, so I'm going to use glass as well, because glass is nothing but quartz crystal. All right, just remember that glass is nothing but quartz crystal. That's all glass is. So you want to enhance the because this is though this is not regular quartz right here. This is Lemurian seed crystal. I've got my regular quartz outside, but in order for us to effectively, you want to change the atmosphere, got to use the lasers. All right, we're going to go through the lasers. We're going to have a discussion on laser technology and how to use it, the applications, or whatever else. This is a frequency right here. This is a frequency. All right, this is a frequency that comes in the form of light. All right, I can feel it on my hand right here. All right, I can feel it out on my hand. It's a frequency, and it's so high that it creates light and it creates a heat. But under the right application, like with a magnifying glass, quartz crystal sheets, all right, you can do a lot of damage. Feel me? So it's important that we understand. All right, that's my wife texting me some crazy stuff. But it's important that we understand that you got to fight technology with technology. All right, the one brother, whoever it was, that said yesterday, I command the sky to remain clear. What are you doing? That's like Christianity shit. I command, all right, name and claim. And does all, no, ain't no commanding. You want something to happen, you do your studies. That's why that brother said a lot of us don't know how to use these cell phones. All right, this right here, this cell phone right here, this is fallen angel technology.
Yep.
You got the internal networking system right here, the internet. Even though a lot of this is the information they try to put on here, but if you tweak this phone the right way, you can link into the dark web and get all kind of information that you want. Why they call it the dark web? Because this dark web has information that this whole Google thing don't want you to have a part of. I talked to a brother who was in jail, and he works with me, and he was talking about how in prison they make their own cell phones. He said they piece them together. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. He said, all them guys that you see be making videos, you think they give the phones. He said, no, they make their phones, they build their phones, and they have access to all kind of internet. All right, this is what we got to get to. So they're locked up in the prison cells. They're getting a lot of intelligence in there, but because they're in there, they can't go anywhere. All right, and that system don't want them to bring anything out. All right, so you want to change something, you got to understand they're using technology. This laser, like I said, is a frequency. You see it in the form of light. This is frequency. I feel this on my hand right here. It's moving across my fingers, and it feels just like somebody's touching me. All right, this laser is a frequency. And when you take that laser, you take that frequency, and it goes up into the atmosphere. And it goes up into the atmosphere. A powerful laser goes up into the atmosphere. What happens? It changes the ions in the molecules. All right. Most of the time they use red lasers to create weather. Why? Because that's base energy. You're talking about using a blue laser. Blue laser is completely different. What color is the sky? Blue. Why? That's xenon. Xenon is one of the most powerful gases out there. All right. So think about it. Think about it real hard. You got to use technology to fight against these beings. They're using chemical and technology. And we up here talking about some, yeah, we can link into the higher realms. And we can link into this and link into that, but we got to use technology, y'all. The whole part of linking into the higher realms is getting the knowledge of how to fight against your enemy. You're going to fight against your enemy. I mean, come on now. We're not at that place where we can move the wind, open up the planet, open up the ground to make things happen. We're not at that place anymore. We can get there, but it's going to take us to increase the intelligence. And how do we do it? we linked our minds into different levels and different layers of technology, which caused us to become extremely powerful. Understand that? All right, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Just remember, the only way you're gonna defeat your enemy, you gotta use technology. We said that before.
If something hypernova happens, and you get your abilities, their remembrance. But I told you here first. Now let's keep going. Hypernova.
I have to show you the close-ups, by the way, of that paternal line of Kamala's. Like she's not just like, she's like exceedingly Jewish. It's kind of weird that we didn't know this. Can you give me the close-up of like the Joseph Harris at the top? Do you guys have it? I'm sorry to go backwards. This is her paternal line. And I'm not laughing. it's just like weird. I am laughing. No, I am laughing. I shouldn't take that back. I did just laugh, and you saw me do that live. But it's just like, once I saw the family tree, and I'm like, whoa, that's her great-great-grandfather. And this woman's just out here being like, yeah, I'm black now. Whatever. Show me the other guy too. Like, yeah, this is Albert Harris, right? So this is Oscar Harris. This is like her grandfather's father. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like you can just like do that. I feel like you can't just be out here being Jewish and then just be like, nah, never mind, I'm black. I don't know. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. We're going to find out. November 5th is around the corner. But like, when I was looking at these photos up close, I was just like, dang, Kamala, this is so low-key disrespectful. It's disrespectful to black people and Jewish people. Like, this is like everything. This is I don't know. Show me the photo again up close. Show me this man. Show me her granddad. Dang, Kamala. You really out here trying to play us. It's too much, man. It's just too much. Anyway.
So let me just start off with this, right? This is why I say the number one rule throughout the entirety of the cosmos, no matter what realm you on, was to know thyself. Genetics. That way you cannot be fooled. Period.
Saw me do that live. But it's just like, once I saw the family tree, and I'm like, whoa, that's her great-great-grandfather. And this woman's just out here being like, yeah, I'm black now. Whatever. Show me the other guy too. Like, yeah, this is Albert Harris, right? So this is Oscar Harris. This is like her grandfather's father. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like you can just like do that. I feel like you can't just be out here being Jewish and then just be like, nah, never mind, I'm black. I don't know. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. We're going to find out. November 5th is around the corner. But like, when I was looking at these photos up close, I was just like, dang, Kamala, this is so low-key disrespectful. It's disrespectful to black people and Jewish people. Like, this is like everything. This is I don't know. Show me the photo again up close. Show me this man. Show me her granddad. Dang, Kamala. You really out here trying to play us. It's too much, man. It's just too much. Anyway.
So let me just start off with this, right?
Intelligence satellite has been destroyed and now on a crash course towards Earth in 80 pieces. And someone knew that the sleeping giant needed for the beginning of WW3. We're going to see what's going on here, guys.
Yes, China. China has these satellite. They call basically all satellites. They don't shoot at any, well, as far as I know, they don't shoot at anything. But they're designed to dismantle another satellite. I only know that because I researched that way back. I didn't know anything. So China been had these a long time ago. But and never thought they would actually use them, but they used it. So keep going.
Coiled like a snake at the base of the spine, and every human being is dormant the primordial energy of the universe. And when awakened, it rises up the spine, carrying its full power all the way up to the summit of our brains, rebirthing and resurrecting a power from within. Some refer to this as third eye opening or pineal gland activation. In ancient Indian spiritual traditions, it's known as Kundalini, which can be translated as coiled one. In Gnostic Christianity, it is known as the process of raising the chrism, with chrism referring to the cerebrospinal fluid produced in the brain. In yogic terms, it's sometimes referred to as the spiritual spine. And for some, this knowledge has been hidden deep within their religious traditions, reserved only for the most elite. Behind the guise of historical record, there is a map of the consciousness of man that explains how to raise the awareness into the higher states of enlightenment. We are given clues along the way that we can use to decode and illuminate this path of awakening. The Bible itself is a manual full of these types of clues, and it's written in code for those willing to take the time to decipher it, albeit more than 90% are taught that it's a literal account of historical events. If you are willing to open your mind to the other possibilities and interpretations of this book, I will share some of those here. And regardless of what you believe to be truth, there will be interesting things along the way to think about. The mystery of the words "Christ is in you" is what this sacred secret reveals. The temple of God is your body, rather than a place that you visit. From the 1920 book titled God-Man, the Word Made Flesh.
In other words, you are God in your temple, which is your body.
By Dr. George W. Carey, who combined religion, astrology, anatomy, and chemistry in his works. He writes, "Seed, word, and God are all synonyms of one and the same thing. The wonderful creative substance, the universal S, from which all things are brought forth, and in which all things are. The scriptures, or allegories and parables of the Bible, are the only writings that give us information as to what the Word of God is. Therefore, in this book, we will quote what is written there in regards to it. Seed is the cause, the nucleus of everything. Therefore, a seed is the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. That creative essence is within you. Christ is this creative essence within you. And as the ancients have documented, there is a resurrection and rebirth of that Christ that takes place within each person at the appointed time." From the chapter in the book God-Man entitled The Antichrist, in which Dr. Carey is referring to the Roman Emperor Constantine.
Christ-like consciousness has to do with your phenotype, your DEA. If you're not one of us yet, your DNA, RNA DNA. Right? Hold on 1 second. I'll play that a little more.
God-Man entitled The Antichrist, in which
Now, if you are the Antichrist, means you're against a Christ-like mind, consciousness. A person who wants to strive to be good for his people and generally wants the world to be good. That's some of our people. But the Antichrist wants only its people to be good. And it hates the other people. It hates the consciousness you get spiritually of your mind. It hates the fact that you are conscious. You're no longer asleep. You have the ability to see what's fake, what's not, what's real, what's good, what's bad. You're conscious of everything now. That's what they don't want. They want you to shut up, do what you're told, right? Be quiet and obey.
referring to the Roman Emperor Constantine and his manipulation of the Bible to hide the truth of man, he writes, "Primitive Christians, the Essenes, fully realized and taught the great truth that Christ was a substance, an oil or ointment, contained especially in the spinal cord, consequently in all parts of the body, as every nerve in the body is directly or indirectly connected with the wonderful river that flows out of Eden, the upper brain, to water the garden. The early Christians knew that the scriptures, whether written in ancient Hebrew or the Greek, were allegories, parables, or fables based on the human body, fearfully and wonderfully made. These adepts knew that the secretion, gray matter creative, that secretes from the cerebrum was the source and cause of the physical expression called man. And they knew that the river of Jordan was symbolized in the spinal cord, and that the Dead Sea was used to symbolize the sacred plexus at the base of the spinal column, where the Jordan spinal cord ends, typifying the entrance of Jordan into the Dead Sea. When the oil, ointment, is crucified, to crucify means to increase in power 1,000-fold, not to kill, it remains 2.5 days, the moon's period in a sign, in the tomb, cerebellum, and on the third day ascends to the pineal gland that connects the cerebellum with the optic thalamus, the central eye in the throne of God, that is the chamber overtopped by the hallowed, caused by the curve of the cerebrum, the most high of the body, which is the temple of the living God, the living, vital substance, which is a precipitation of the breath of life, breathed into man, therefore the holy, whole ghost, or breath. The pineal gland is the pinnacle of the temple. In regards to the pineal gland, he states earlier in his book, the pineal gland is directly referred to in the Bible as Mount Peniel, where Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Lord. In Hebrew, the word means face of God. It is indeed the face of God, the top of this gland being the eye. Where can the eye be located save in the face? And in another section of this book, he talks about this activation when he states, the fluid, oil, or marrow which flows down the spinal cord comes from the upper brain, the creator or father, the most high, and is known in physiology as ovum, or generative seed, that life essence which creates the human form of corruptible flesh. In the Greek, from which the New Testament was translated, this marrow is called Christ, which is the Greek word for oil. When this oil is refined, transmuted, lifted up, raised, it becomes so highly vitalized that it regenerates the body and overcomes the last enemy, death. How can it be lifted up? By lifting up the Son of Man, the seed, the Word, the Savior. The oil, Christ, in the spinal cord is the salt which is mentioned in the Bible, and the Savior is the seed or Jesus. The salt and the Savior both come from the same source, the same place, the Father, the upper brain. In the Bible allegory, the seed, Jesus, is made to say, without my Father, I can do nothing. And from the chapter titled Journey of Joseph and Mary, Dr. Carey gives us more clues when he states, on either side of the thalamus, in the head, is a gland known in physiology as the pineal on the posterior, and the pituitary on the anterior side of the thalamus. The pineal is cone-shaped and secretes a yellow or golden fluid. The pituitary body, opposite, is ellipsoid in shape and contains a whitish secretion like milk. The fluids that are found in both these bodies come from the same source, namely the colostrum, which means barrier, or cloister, and is referred to as cloister for the very good reason that a precious and holy thing is secreted or secluded there. Saint Claus, or Santa Claus, is another term for this precious fluid, which is indeed a holy gift in the body of each one of us. The precious fluid which flows down from the colostrum separates, part going into the pineal gland and part to the pituitary body, and these, being special laboratories of the head, differentiate the fluid from the colostrum, and it takes on the colors above mentioned, and in the pineal gland becomes yellow and has electric properties. The pituitary body, having the milk-like fluid, has magnetic properties. These two glands are the male and female, the Joseph and Mary of the physical body, and are the parents of the spiritual son born in the solar plexus of each human being, commencing about the age of 12. This yellow and white material, which is the milk and honey referred to in the Bible, the children of Israel, having been given the promise of a return to this land flowing with milk and honey, at last reaches the solar plexus via semi-lunar ganglia, the Bethlehem of the physical body. In Hebrew, Bethlehem means house, Beth, of bread, Lehem. I am the bread of life, said the allegorical Jesus. In the solar plexus is a thimble-shaped depression of a cave, or manger, and in this is deposited the psychophysical seed, or holy child, born of this immaculate conception. This psychophysical seed is also called fish, as it has the odor of fish and is formed in the midst of the waters, the pure water. Jesus is a fish in the midst of the waters, St. Augustine. Before birth, the human fetus floats like a fish in the fluids by which it is surrounded. And as it is with the child formed on the generative plane, so it is with the spiritual child born in the solar plexus, the Bethlehem. Joseph and Mary, by furnishing the material for the spiritual child, which was to redeem the child or body formed in generation.
I'm showing you this to understand that a lot of that Bible literally is about your body parts and what your body parts do, the fluids in your body, and birth. They just mix them in with it because they want you to serve a man.
Paid the
Okay,
symbolical
yeah.
redemption money. Holy Ghost, Greek for breath. The breath descending the pneumogastric nerve into the solar center. Enters the manger where Joseph and Mary are. And where is Jesus, the seed literally, conceived by the Holy Ghost? The general idea of what is referred to as the sacred secretion is that the pituitary and pineal glands can generate different oils. Golden melatonin, honey from the pituitary, and oxytocin and vasopressin, milk from the pineal. The oils meet in the crucible of the skull. In the Bible, it is referred to as Golgotha, which means skull in Hebrew. Also Calvary, from the Latin calva, which also means skull. The cerebral spinal fluid is the oil of God. Christ, or Christos, which means oil of anointing, is produced in the colostrum in the midbrain. The word colostrum is derived from the Latin word cloister, which means enclosure, or covered walk in a covenant. It comes down from heaven, with the word heaven being derived from the word Hephon, which means both sky and the place where God dwells. It then travels down the spine with the cerebral spinal fluid. The fluid descends down to the solar plexus where it stays for 2.5 days, represented by Christ's burial in the tomb. After 2.5 days, if the mixture is not destroyed, it channels its way back up the spine into the brain, creating a resurrection experience. The 2.5 days are associated with the moon being in the sun sign of one's birth each month. And the Christ seed is often destroyed by what is referred to as sin before this process has the chance to take place, usually just by ignorance of the story itself. For example, inappropriate diet, overeating, semen ejaculation, and alcohol. With this theory, the entire story of the Bible is a story about the birth, death, resurrection, and rebirth of Christ, except it's a process that happens within the body, rather than an account of a historical person. When a person resurrects the Christ within, meaning the Christos oil has been raised to their cerebrum, then that person is transformed and transfigured.
Now, I just want to say this, my people.
I think go. So, like I said, they keep on going with, they'll keep on throwing religion at you. When the whole time they're literally, a lot of part of this book is talking about your body parts. It's talking about the fluid that's in your perineal gland. It's also the fluid that somehow goes to your, if you have sex, it's that fluid. But if it's not wasted, if you have not used it, then of course it goes back up and it turns into a whole different type of liquid. It transforms into what they call the Christ. You see that? And it goes all the way up to the top, back to the perineal gland, and turns to a whole other different substance. You sit on the throne of the perineal gland. You understand? Excuse me. And because it goes up to the top, to the perineal gland, you get what they call daily bread. You're a spirit living in that body. Okay?
This is one of the reasons why I say black people walk around and use their body 100% of the time, and they know less than 1% about it. And it's very important to this species, not the complex cell organism, their creator. It is important to them that they keep us away from anatomy. How could the complex organism even be able to put together, first of all, give names to our organs, internal organs, for one. Two, know how they function and operate. Three, be able to write books, stories, all your religious books, all of your electronics, all of your everything that we use, your vehicles, your television, everything, your religious books, everything is around your anatomy. More importantly, so-called Black people anatomy. Everything.
Black folk
is nothing, as above, so below, as without, so within. Period. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start to understand and overstand anatomy, fear starts to release from your body. You start to look at yourself in a foolish manner to even hold on to fear. That is something.
You start realizing that you are
complained last time I did
it about God and you the God. But then they get, of course, there's some folks who invade it and they make it mix and mingle it to get you to serve their pappy. So you have to understand what's going on without complaining. Well, that's going to be too long.
Dumb enough not to follow the covenant. Welcome back to Apocalypse and Genesis. For 14 years now, I've had the unhealthy obsession of searching for the Alpha Omega moment, a stellar punctuation when our confusing and soon cataclysmic end of days meets creation from chaos, the Tohu Wabohu, when humanity reborn inherits God's world as reformed by the plow star in the hands of the God of war, a time in which humans begin to cobble together a better world than the one we left behind. My hope, I think, is that we will finally achieve what the philosopher Teilhard de Chardin once referred to as the Omega point, where the data is finally in and a new course can be set. Time for humanity to advance beyond this current phase of parasitism, war, and I got a secret, to one of a shared vision for the future. God's cosmic year began on Rosh Hashanah. Tishri 1 came hours after an annular solar eclipse was seen over Easter Island in Santa Cruz, Argentina, and now remain 3 such events to the end of precession, 2 natural, 1 special, 2 brought by Earth's moon and 1 brought by a moon of Saturn, not seen in 36 centuries. Exodus 10:22, the angel of death. In between, we will begin the temperature crescendo that ends this interglacial period and sets up the next ice age. The petroglyph is from the Waikoloa Petroglyph Preserve in Hawaii, and you might note the horse and rider begin their ride in Sagittarius, Revelation 6:2, the implication being that one of our hidden lords shows up around Christmas as an alarm. Revelation 19:11 suggests we'll find the second near Pegasus early next year.
In other words, a planet shows up. We haven't seen it in a while. And for some reason, I guess they would call this a so-called natural disaster. But not to the point that anybody would die or anything, but it would be what they call the Ice Age. We're going to the Ice Age. Okay? At least that's what they're hoping for. I don't believe that's going to happen. What I understand is going to happen is that it's the end of them finally, not beginning, because that's when they fall.
This is what's going on. This is Brother Wisdom. All right, we're going to talk about the different types of
I'll tell you before we have portals, and I'll tell you before we could jump from place to place. That's before we really were very advanced. Then, of course, we had to invent other stuff, the law we felt. But honestly, we should have stayed the top 33 like we were before. So now we are 13. This is our lowest self. And I'm pretty sure that there's a highest self. So because we're multidimensional beings in the way we still are. But I'm talking about on this plane though, okay?
All right. This portal that you see right here, this is this is the usual portal that everyone sees, which is a 3-dimensional portal. All right. Yes, this is a 3rd-dimensional portal. Anything that's in the 3rd dimension is physical. All right. Anything that's in the 3rd dimension is physical. All right. And what makes it a 3rd-dimensional portal? Well, top, bottom, side. It has basically it has 2 sides. It has this side and it has another side to it. You look at it, there is a center point there. All right. Let's move on here. All right. See, there's a center point. Top, bottom, side, front, back. And that's what makes it 3-dimensional. All right. It's a 3-dimensional portal. Okay. Now this portal right here, and there was one just before it, it's a different type of portal. All right. This is one where you will go on the inside of it. And this right here, you either ascend in the air or you can go right on the inside of it. And you disappear. So this is not so much of a it's a 3-dimensional portal, it's a physical portal, but it's built in a different way. All right. You see all the intricate lines, something like a spider web, where all the lines lead up, which means that it's got an extremely high magnetic field. Okay. Okay, this is something like Star Trek. It's something like Star Trek, where you go inside this here and you would go into a different location. You just literally disappear. All right. And in order for this to work, you have to be original to this planet. All right. Just like the portal before. All right. You see that? That's another portal, just like this here. You have to be original to the planet. Basically, you're going on the inside of here, and it's a portal. And you would go through to another dimension. All right. This would be something like a tunnel portal, or they want to say a dome portal, or it was something like an inverted dome. Okay. And something like an inverted dome where you could actually walk on the inside of it, and basically you're in this area here, and basically you can, in whatever material is made out of, and you could enter into these different realms. But here's the thing about it. In order for the portal to work, you got to have a key. All right. Just like this portal. It's like, how do you get inside of there? That's a very small hole. Well, it's not so much of the hole, it's the energy that's around the hole. And you walk to it and you go into a completely different dimension, a completely different universe, completely different world. But you gotta have, they're all 3-dimensional portals. And you can go into different worlds, but like we said, you gotta have a key. All right? You gotta have that key to enter them.
But they had this device called a jet pillar ankh. So they had the jet, which is a capacitor, inserted into the ankh. This technology was incredible because this technology was matched to the specific frequency of the owner, the atomic frequency of their own vibration of their own atoms. Everyone has your own, it's like a fingerprint, your own special subatomic frequency. They would then take that frequency and encode it into the Stargate. That was your key. That was your key. So if you tried to walk through the gate without that specific frequency, if I stole your unk and I wasn't encoded with that frequency, I would die trying to walk through the gate. You'd be able to walk through the gate. They called it the Do-Ron key. It was a bond heaven earth, and a bond heaven earth, and it would allow them to walk from one place to another and then back again. But you had to have the jet pillar on. It's advanced technology.
It's just like you said. It's a key. And this is the key they use. Everybody talking about the Ankh is the feminine whatever, and the what they say is the womb of the woman or whatever. No, this is what the Ankh is. It's a key. All right, brothers and sisters walking around with the Ankh around their neck, just a little half oval circle with a cross thing going. No. This is a key. This is advanced technology. All right, this is a key. Highly electromagnetic frequencies, and we held this key in our hand, and we were able to walk from world to world. This is what we're talking about.
Now you see why I don't like people teaching, because the spiritualists teach us with the feminine aspect on things, keep saying that, but it's actually really about a real key for us to time travel, to walk through a door, a portal, and go to a whole other planet or place. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said we were so powerful. Like, we were on all the planets, all 300 of them, in this district, and there's other districts too as well. And if I knew you, it was basically like I taking a trip from New York to Boston or fucking, you know what I'm saying, anywhere you want in the world, except you would just walk right through. But it wasn't a long trip. It was boom, boom. Almost like going to your buddy's house right next door. You could be on a whole other planet and freaking just know a buddy there. That's one of our people, and you're one of our people. And you know what I'm saying? You can hit them up with, like I said before, we didn't need cell phones. And we could how you say it? What's the word? We spoke with our minds, not with our words. Telepathic. X-Cam Music Group with the key. That's right. The vibration. But hold on now. Before you get me off track, because you know it's the time I do that, that'll be all over the place. Y'all know it's all the information be coming all over the place. All right. So, what's that? Oh, the key. Right? Oh, yeah. So they teach, the friends teach that it's about your power, and it's actually really about the key. So and if you're telepathic, you can just talk to me like, yo, what you doing, bro? I ain't doing nothing. You can be on the whole district, whole other planet. Oh, man, come through. Okay, cool. Let me go to this freaking thing. I got my key, put the music on, boom, went on the side. Right on your accounts. Hey, what's going on, bro? With my key. You walked around with them. And they try to say, well, that's the girl's private. No, bro. Feminists, that's why I say TikTok is something else. That's all I'm gonna say. You got to get down to the science. All about science. It's all about the science. All right. It's all about your body. It's all about all this stuff, the science. All right. It's all about the technology. It's not about serving a man. All they did was Christianity was twist everything to get you to think, boom. And they had to make you fall, get you to think to serve some man, because they kept you in let you stay in a state of mind where you haven't fallen, you would already know what all this stuff is, so they couldn't twist it because it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever.
All right. So in order to go through those gateways, we had to have a key. All right. Now, this is the key. This right here is a capacitor that's inside of this right here. Like I said, so many brothers and sisters talking about, oh, this is the penis and this is the womb and this is this bullshit. That means they it's like they're thinking on some sexual, physical 3D shit. This right here worked with a fifth dimensional mind and higher. Okay, this is a capacitor that's inside of this device. It's a three-dimensional device. All right, and as you can see, your body was the battery. All right, so you held this right here. Your body was charged up the capacitor, and this is how you were able to walk in and out of the gateways, whether it was a wooden gateway, whether it was a metal gateway, whether it was a clay gateway or a stone gateway or crystal gateway, however you say it. This was the key to walking through these three-dimensional gateways that were created without this device called the Ankh. All right, without this device, you weren't able to walk through it. Like I said, you got so many brothers and sisters talking about, oh, this is the sexual, and this is the womb, and this is the penis, and this is the no. Y'all wake up from that stupid bullshit. This is literally technology, highly advanced technology, and that's why these whites and these Africans and these Mongolians say this is some advanced technology, something beyond what we could imagine. There was a capacitor, and this is all made out of copper and gold. This is a capacitor in the middle. You see how that capacitor, it comes all the way down. So when you're holding it right here in this part right here, your energy, your body energy literally charges it up. And this is made for your body. Every one of us had our own Ankh. All right. We all had our own Ankh. And this is how we were able to go from world to world to world. Now, these whites, when they came here and they tried to create all these gateways, just like the movie Stargate, they just doing the movie Stargate. Did they ever go through it? Maybe not. Maybe so. But for us, this is a key. And it was called a key to the heavens. Why? Because this right here took us to places that mankind could never go. All right, let's move on. Okay, you all remember this one right here that we did portals in the sky. All right, let's move on. These are known as, or called, space-time portals. Okay, they're called space-time portals. All right, and these are portals in the sky, and these are created by extremely high dimensional beings who are in vessels, and vessels can cloak and go through them. All right. They only stay there for so long, and you can have a whole fleet come through these right here, but they're called space-time portals. All right. That's what they're called. And extremely powerful. How can I call them? What can I call them? They're extreme powers. I would say vessel, because a portal is a vessel. All right, but this is not three-dimensional. All right, this is more so of just like you said, space-time. All right, this is more so of a cosmic portal where it opens in the sky, because when you start dealing with the air, you're dealing with the cosmos. All right. And again, here's another one. This is a space-time portal. And as you can see, that you can't see on the other side of it, because this right here is coming down. You see, it's coming down from the sky, or coming down from the heavens. And see, it's coming down. So whatever's coming in it is coming down this tube and out of it. But it's also known as a space-time portal. All right, extremely powerful organisms, I guess you could say, that are used to bring vessels through. And like I said, you can have a whole fleet come through, and these fleets move at the speed of light. And it's, all right, so just imagine this portal sitting here for about 5 minutes, because that's about as much time as it takes. It's about 5 minutes that they sit there. You see the way it's spinning right there. You see the way it's spinning right here. And you have vessels coming out of there extremely fast because they don't have that much time. And they're cloaked in the air. So, and then they're going to, they begin to expose themselves, come, to fruition or whatever. But these are called space-time portals, okay? All right. These are known as watery portals, all right, or what you also call underwater portals, all right? And these portals, mostly beings who reside underwater, well, they use these portals. A lot of the fish that we have in the ocean that mankind has never seen before, a lot of times they come through these watery portals. All right, you understand that? A lot of times they come through these watery portals, and some of these portals you can go from water to a watery world, because a lot of these portals are linked into Neptune. Neptune is where the majority of our water comes from. All right, planet Neptune, which is a watery planet where the water literally reproduces itself all the time, and it's shared all over the freaking cosmos. All right, Neptune is a huge watery planet, very little land. Not as much land as we have here, but very little land. But Neptune is a watery portal, and there are creatures that come through these portals. And there's also beings. There's spacecrafts that come through these portals as well. All right, you understand that? So there are many different types of portals. We talked about the three-dimensional portals. We talked about the space-time portals. And this right here is the watery portal. That's underwater. Another space-time portal is known as rainbow. When you see that, most of the time the rainbows show up when it is extremely moist. And we talked about how the plasma charges up the gases. When the gases come from one end to another one, they open a gateway, and all types of powerful, and it's an opening. All right.
I want to get to more important.
Talk to you a little bit about national parks and state parks. And yes, they're protected because they're beautiful areas, but mainly they're protected because they're ley-line areas. And most of the ley-lines in this country and around the world, not all of them, most of them, or a majority of them, are held by dark forest energies. And because they're held by dark forest energies, underground bases and things have been built under these parks, as well as entrances that have been there for centuries, to interact. So you can literally stumble into a world where you can't navigate and you may not be able to get out. Also, there's a lot of portals because of the ley lines and just the portal energy in these parks. So a lot of times when people are just saying, they're not being taken by God, they're not being taken by Sasquatch, they're not being taken by aliens. I mean, they might be. Because literally they're walking into other worlds, they're walking into Earth, they may have stumbled into a base because there's a lot of holographic coverings that people inadvertently, people are dumb, and people are nosy, and people can't see the dimensions, and so they can't navigate some of these places, and so they get themselves in things that they can't get out of. Yes, some people are kicked off the trail about experimentation and moon time and all of that. Yes, some people are so like crazies on things like the Appalachian Trail and stuff like that. Not saying it's not logical, quote, through the explanations, but a lot of the David Pilates 411 stuff is BS. He knows what's going on. He's a paid informant. He's part of the whole thing. He's been proven to be a liar on many occasions. And so a lot of this, in my opinion, is they're walking through portals and they're not being able, to navigate their way back out, or maybe a one-way portal. Because the ley lines are walking into inner Earth again, they're not being able to get back out. They may be in a phase they might not want them to get back out. So a lot of these disappearances or deaths are a result of not necessarily super mystical stuff, but definitely things that most of you aren't familiar with, and some of us are. So my warning and my caution is be very careful when you go. Stay in crowds, stay in the more public places. Don't go off exploring on your own. If you get like a spidey sense of something wrong, pay attention to that. I don't recommend camping in state parks or national parks, which is funny because I basically live practically in a state park. But my coverage also is a portal property on 4 acres of park. So that's going to automatically kind of make it really magical and mystical, which is great for me because of my knowledge and what I do. But it's not something for other people. Not everybody would love it here. And there's so many places on my property that I shouldn't walk into, and I might not get out of as well.
So you heard what she said. People go off track, all right, and then they get trapped in portals, all right. They haven't been kidnapped, but they walk into other worlds because there are portals in the national.
And they have made movies about this not that long ago. As a matter of fact, last year they made a movie about this, and the girl was trapped in a portal with some guy, trapped in a portal. And they kept on seeing different versions of themselves in different time and spaces, keep on getting trapped in the same portal until they finally got out the portal. Oh, no, one of them didn't make it out. One of them got killed. But yeah, it was something. You got to watch it, though. The thing about portals, you do got to be careful. You got to be careful. They make movies about this stuff. They throw it in your face.
National park, these trees that have been there for a long time in these areas. And you heard she said there's a lot of dark energy forces. Okay, so the different types of portals on our planet is lucrative. All right, it's extremely lucrative, and this is some type of knowledge that we must understand. When you're dealing with this planet, electromagnetic energy, plasma, photon energy, ether, you're dealing with dark energy, dark matter, crystal energy, all different type of forces. Come on now. This is what we're dealing with, okay?
Let's talk about astral projection. For those of you who don't know, astral projection is when your spirit leaves your physical body and allows you to travel throughout the astral realms and other dimensions. There are stages that you go through before you actually reach your astral projection experience, which I know a lot of us have heard or experienced that sleep paralysis stage when we're sleeping and you wake up and you can't fucking move your arms, your legs, your body. It's just, you can't move nothing. So you're laying flat on your back. Your body is asleep, but your mind is awake, which is why you can't feel your body because only your mind is awake. So yeah, during this stage is when people tend to freak out because they don't know what the fuck is going on and they don't even get to reach that level of astral projection because they're freaking out about not being able to move their freaking body. But the main reason why people freak out during this stage is because of fear. So yeah, the level of fear that you have causes you to freak out. And a lot of people like to say that it's a demon on top of you, holding you down, not allowing you to move, but that's not necessarily true. Because when you experience sleep paralysis, you're in between two states, which is the reality state and the dream state. So basically, everything that you are experiencing is based off of your own mind. So whatever it is that you believe in your mind, that's what's going to affect.
And it's important to note that the dream state is where you're at now. This is the dream world. This is the substance that seems real, but it's not. Right? They tell you, actually one of the greatest prophets told you that in your book, in one of the books, in a couple of books actually, but the main one y'all go by anyway these days. I digress. But, and of course, when you supposedly go to sleep, which you know your body rests and you go to sleep, you are in the world. And you need to think about this really quick. They made movies about this. Except they did it so stupid. Basically, they had people in the movie where they had like a machine they lay down on. It was more like a chair that they sit in, and they plug in, and then boom, they would be in a robot version of themselves, except it was just like their body that they had already, literally just like the body. Same. You can almost picture it like that, except in the other reality that we go to. Well, we do have a body there too, but like I said, we're a spirit. We're multidimensional beings. So boom, we're in a real reality over there. So you can look at it that way too. Okay, that's one best way to look at it, to fully get a real good understanding of it.
It's your experience. So if you're filled with fear and you have it in your mind that there's a demon on top of you, then that's probably what you're going to experience. And I'm telling you, the mind is so fucking powerful. So powerful. So like I said, if you go into this state of mind feeling fear, then that's what you will experience. And you'll never get to reach that real level of astral projection because you're blocked by fear.
So, like you said, you got to get rid of fear. Literally, astral projection is you're literally entering spiritual gateways within you. All right. And we, as the original beings, I'm going to tell you this right here. We have more gateways within our bodies than the.
And I need to throw in the fact that you can literally just go to any of the your higher selves or any of the realms you actually want to go to when you leave this body every single night, because this body can't hold you. You see, anybody just did that click on anybody? The body, the book says the body couldn't hold the Most High, right? That means it cannot hold it continuously until it gets to a certain level, right? Until your DEA, they like to say DNA, but your DEA activates, huh? But your body can't hold you. That's why it has to lay down. It has to go sleep. You don't go sleep. You're a multidimensional being. You're pure energy. Pure energy is ether. Ether's melanin. Where's the ether come from? The ether. What's that? The black sun. Oh snap! We got two of them now. Things are sure coming together. Where the site is going to be.
Planet has gateways. All right. Each one of your chakras is a gateway. You have 150 trillion cells in your body. Each one of those cells are gateways. Seriously. You have your heart gateway. You have a gateway in your mind. Your soul is a gateway alone.
Everything's.
You understand that? So these are different types of portals and gateways. You can enter the portal within your body and go to and move through the spirit realm. That's a spiritual portal. Okay? And we have to understand
Be careful with
that through the spiritual portal, you literally,
that's when your body's resting, the spiritual portal. Talking about that one too. That's why I said every time you lay down, you travel, your body can't hold you. But now people try to do it. They try to do it. You are, in a sense, you can say the body. You are remote viewing too, if you want to say that too. But no, you are going all over the place where you want to go. The dreams you remember is stuff that happens that night. Remember, you're a spirit. You don't understand. Oh my goodness, man. We are so powerful beings. We can do such many things still and don't even realize it. We just got to do the physical sense. All of it. But before I get off track, okay? People try to emote you when they meditating. You got to be careful with that. I'm trying to tell you right now, be careful, because you may go someplace you may not want to end up. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Actually can move in and out of different dimensions, move through different universes, and you'll remember these things. And you can see them and feel them, and you know what you're doing. All right. So astral projection is another. You literally entering the portal, going through the portal within you. All right. That's why it said the kingdom of God is within you. What are you talking about? The kingdom of God is the cosmos, and you can go through so many different gateways. I don't know how many black holes I've gone through in my astral projection state, seeing all the different types of creatures and beings and different waters. I remember the purple waters, the pink waters, the red waters. Remember the tree? I never forget the tree. There's that tree that I think I was in the Kappa universe. I was in the Kappa universe. I forgot what planet I was at, but I remember that tree, and that tree touched all the way to the sky, and it had 4 leaves on it. It had 4 leaves, and the leaves, these huge leaves, literally started at the top of the tree and touched the ground. There was just 4 leaves on either side of the tree, east, west, north, south. Okay. So astral projection is going through the portals within you. These are all the different types of portals. But like you say, with astral projection, sometimes you feel like, hey, I can't move anything. You're going to a state of fear. Kill the fear. All right. And no, you don't have somebody sitting on you trying to take your breath. It's just that you're in the world between worlds. All right. So this is just talking about different portals, different gateways. All right. The different type of portals to deal with. All right. Your crystals. We can also enter into different worlds. I'm talking about the crystals, where we can enter worlds that have crystal portals. All right. They may deem this fantasy, but I'm pretty sure anything they deem fantasy has got some portal, some level of reality to it. So there are worlds that have crystal portals. Of course, they got to put the white girl up there and the bunny. All right. You see the bunny? A rabbit literally can take you to other places, but there are crystal portals out there that in other realms, other dimensions, that are extremely powerful places. All right, and take you to different. So we're talking about different portals, different dimensions, different realms. They're vast. They're vast, and there's a lot of them. They're broad, and they open your mind to a whole nother world. All right. And so the world's out here besides what they want us to be a part of. And we got to visit these different places. But these are crystal pyramids. Crystal portals. All right. Which are in other worlds. All right. As you start going into a higher mindset, you start understanding, that these places do exist, like crystal waters. All right. So just wanted to share it with you all. Different types of portals, gateways. Hope you.
So
this close.
So a little bit more news. Then we'll end it. Hope y'all learned something so far, or confirmed something.
Involvement, as I say, deeply concerning for Ukraine, which is suffering battlefield losses in the east. They say that the presence of North Korean troops pose a huge risk of escalation, with this war potentially stretching beyond its current borders.
American officials, of course, condemning the growing military alliance in a war that's gone on way too long.
Iran, they gave, drones, licenses to produce these drones and missiles. Yes, but not people, not official. Yes. And here we see this first step in this war. And this is the first step to a world war.
South Korea is demanding the immediate withdrawal of North Korean troops in Russia, summoning the Russian ambassador in Seoul in protest. It's also warned of a response to any acts that could threaten its core interests.
In the meantime, South Korea is the only country to confirm North Korea's deployment of troops for Russia. An official told reporters that responses could be through diplomacy, economic retaliations, or even military action. In addition, the top office says it's opened the possibility of the military cooperation between Pyongyang and Moscow threatening peace on the Korean Peninsula, and possible scenarios are being reviewed.
But this is really significant. This could mean, if the North Korean troops are used in combat, that North Korea will be fighting for the first time in its existence in Europe against Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky says this could be the first step towards world war.
And then there's North Korea as well. North Korean soldiers have reportedly been filmed receiving Russian uniforms and equipment at a training ground at the Kremlin's Far East region over the weekend, Gordon. Ukraine's military intelligence chief has warned that 11,000 North Korean troops stationed in Russia are ready to fight. By November 1st, he says 2,600 North Korean soldiers will also be deployed to Russia's Kursk region, where Ukraine holds a significant amount of territory. So, Gordon, it looks like North Korea is rallying to the call of Russia as well.
Yes, and it shows that the bonds among those hostile powers are tightening. Now, those 10 or 12,000 regular North Korean troops, North Korea's regular army isn't very good. But in eastern Russia, they're training 1,200 special operators. And North Korea's special operators are among the best in the world. And so those guys can do a lot of damage, especially if their numbers are augmented, which they undoubtedly will be. In here, what we're seeing, and ultimately, is that China, Russia, North Korea, Iran see Ukraine as the future of the world. If they win there, they will win the world. If they lose there, we have a chance of reestablishing order in the very turbulent world right now. So clearly, this is where we should draw the line, and clear because the Russians and the Chinese and everybody else is doing so as well.
The government will implement phased response measures according to the progress of military cooperation between Russia and North Korea following North Korea's dispatch of combat troops. In this process, we will closely coordinate with our allies and friendly nations to ensure that strong and effective measures are taken against the Russia-North Korea military cooperation.
But first, South Korea may consider directly supplying weapons to Ukraine as part of measures to counter military cooperation between North Korea and Russia. Seoul has accused Pyongyang of sending troops to fight for Moscow and is also considering sending personnel to Ukraine to monitor the North's troops.
정부는 북한군의 즉각적인 철수를 촉구하며 현재와 같은 북한과 러시아의 군사적 야합이 지속될 경우 이를 좌시하지 않고 국제사회와 함께 단호하게 대처해 나가기로 했습니다. 정부는 북한의 전투병력 파병에 따른 러북 군사협력의 진전 추이에 따라 단계적인 대응 조치를 실행해 나갈 것입니다.
South Korea's deputy national advisor says Pyongyang is acting like a criminal organization by sending young troops to fight for the Kremlin.
On Monday, the Kremlin confirmed the collaboration.
North Korea is our close neighbor, our partner, and we're developing our relations in all fields. It's our sovereign rights. We will further develop this cooperation.
These latest developments are of significant concern for South Korea, as the military alliance could become a serious threat to peace in the region. In exchange for his troops, Kim Jong-un hopes to receive Russia's latest military technology, be it satellites or submarines. Last Thursday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that North Korean involvement in the war would significantly increase the threat level in the region.
Its National Intelligence Service released satellite images that it says shows the activities of Russian ships transporting North Korean soldiers. The agency also released images that it says shows Russian ships carrying North Korean weapons, as well as satellite images of suspected North Korean mass gatherings at military facilities in Russia.
David Lammy and the UK Foreign Office have been referencing those reports. We've been hearing David Lammy describe it as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of conflict, is how he's been putting this as he visits South Korea. He says, David Lammy, North Korea is supporting Russia and prolonging conflict on Europe's borders. He also talks, David Lammy, about what he describes as their illegal weapons of mass destruction program, which he says threatens national security.
Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's military intelligence service, and they're all saying that somewhere in the region of 10 to 12,000 North Korean troops are already in Russia, in the far east of Russia, Khabarovsk, Vladivostok, Ussurisk, Blagoveshchensk, all towns on the border with China. In the case of Vladivostok, also very near to the border with North Korea. So they're there, they're being trained, apparently. According to the National Intelligence Service of South Korea, they're being issued with Russian uniforms and IDs, false IDs, from parts of Russia's far east, from Yakutia and Buryatia, where the people are quite Asiatic looking. So I suppose they may just be surmising that they could get away as being Buryats or Yakuts.
And that's what's causing so much concern, not only in this region, but also, of course, in Ukraine, where they're seeing some defeats in the battlefield, especially in eastern Ukraine.
And of course, this being a war that's gone on for so long, Britt, the United States has weighed in on this potential threat. What more do we know about that?
Yes, so we know that White House spokesperson John Kirby, he said that they are looking into those reports. We also heard from a UN representative of the United States, and basically he was sounding the alarm too of this dangerous development. He was basically saying that if true, it marks a dangerous and highly concerning development.
중단할 것을 강력히 경고합니다. 우리 군은 국민 안전을 지키기 위한 필요한 조치들을 강구해 갈 것입니다.
The Russian embassy in South Korea has released a statement saying that cooperation with the North is not directed against the South's security interests.
Talking about what the Foreign Office is calling the first UK and South Korea foreign and defence ministerial 2+2 dialogue. That's described by the UK as a set-piece consultation, which will further, it says, enhance cooperation on regional peace and security issues.
There we go. Yep. U.S., Canada, and Mexico announced this combo package, bilateral. It kind of sounds New World Order-ish pandemic plot. We just discussed yesterday that we found out a central ground for what they plan is in North Carolina. So today we're seeing now that in this package deal, they let out a bill in Canada, and somehow this bill from Canada seems like it's what's happening in America, which in the legislative way is kind of strange. So U.S. government shares new pandemic plan October 24th. It says U.S. government officials together with counterparts in Canada and Mexico have unveiled their latest plans to strengthen regional health security and pandemic preparedness. And I was looking online, and I was like on Twitter, and then you can see like the trends. And the trends was that disease is coming. And it's supposed to be Lady Gaga is going to have some song coming out that it's called Disease. She's releasing it this week. So you know how they predictively release certain things, how celebrities, puppets, and all of them do that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Greetings from Montreal, Canada. What's going on? One love for sure. Somebody says the words "one" is actually in this document in what they're saying. That's the crazy part. We'll get to it here in just a second. Check it out. The new NAPA HPI recognizes interconnected nature of people and animal health and the effect it has on prosperity and security of the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Strengthening health security can only be achieved through continued collaboration. The initiative is based on a One Health approach
So let's go really quick. One Health approach sounds new order-ish. It sounds so. Here's the bill that was released in Canada. How in the heck a bill from Canada is now adopted basically in America? What do they say in this bill? A One Health approach, multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary, collaborative
I told y'all,
approach that focuses on the human animal plant
pause,
ecosystem health.
I told y'all, motherfuckers, you know what? Then our something later on, the disease X, that's what they're gonna call it, comes out from the, you know what? And the motherfuckers go zombie mode because they had to, you know what? And then they gonna try to make a law that everybody needs to get this, you know what? Because that happened. The zombie hit mode happened. But they don't want to tell you it happened because of the, you know what? You see? All these movies they made, man, telling you what they're gonna do. I've been telling you they was gonna do this shit. I told y'all play for play, they was gonna do they doing exactly what I told you for play. Even to detail the detail, they're doing exactly what I said they was gonna do. This shit is so crazy. Oh man. Sometimes you know, listen, I know some of y'all say, oh, you have a gift or something like that, but you know what? Sometimes it can be a burden because when you actually see it happening and it happens play for play right in front of you, it'd be nice if I could reverse it from happening in my mind. And then it actually reverses that part and it doesn't happen and it goes a different way, but doesn't go the way they want it. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be totally harmless to us, but harmless to them for trying that bullshit. So this is the diabolical plan. And because of what they gave, people took, now they're gonna turn to zombies, and they're gonna want to turn around and sit there and say, now you need to take this, you know what? Because of yeah, man, the freaking the only way to stop the zombie from happening. Because there's disease out there. And oh yeah, anybody can have it because it must be airborne. What? Bro, this is shit that I told y'all they was gonna try this shit. They're the reason they did stuff they shouldn't have done. You know what I'm talking about? They're the reason why the freaking zombie shit's gonna happen. They're gonna tell you, come over here, we need to do this again. There's a disease out again. We need to shut stuff down. Again. Everybody needs to get back to going try to take this again. Didn't they was told not to, matter of fact, that was recently, that nobody should ever do that ever again. And all these folks coming out saying that they're trying to say, no, we got to ban this stuff. This thing has to be banned. That people can't take this no more. It's not a good idea for anybody to take it no more. People are now backing off and giving that to people, right? And they telling people, the doctors are saying this stuff causes lots of problems. We're starting to see some changes. Hello. You know what I'm saying? There were complications before. A lot of folks went. Anyways, you know, besides that, like really though, besides that, the fact is they want you to, you know, why don't y'all come over here and let me poke you with something, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Really? No, I'm not doing it. I think everybody needs some protection. Okay? I'm just saying. Because they know what they're doing.
And welfare interface. In central preventing the risk of future pandemics.
Yeah.
How in Satan's hell is this bill being put in America if it was first initiated in Canada. It makes zero sense. This means they're really doing some New World Order stuff for real. Let's read further. NAPAHI, a renewed opportunity for North American collaboration to prevent and mitigate, prepare for, respond to, and recover from pandemics and other regional events that pose threat to regional health security. I remember this makes some sense now. Y'all remember whenever the Canadian troops was coming into Ohio? I was showing a video clip, and some of you might didn't see that, but it was clear evidence that the Royal Air Force was flying into America, and it was just like nobody was talking about it. Thankfully, my channel exists because I was talking about it, but maybe they were drilling with the U.S. military, with the corrupt elements of our government to prepare for us to go through these events. Let's read some more to you from this situation that they're saying like we're going to be preparing for in 3 freaking countries. Initiative will focus on following priority: animal diseases with potential to transmit to humans, infectious disease with potential to become pandemics, threats to regional health security, critical infrastructure, medical supply chain, surveillance systems, public health measures, and risk to communication strategy, risk assessment, sustainable financing. So we go back here, and this whole thing where we told you around elections, the sheriffs was telling us that this was going to start to happen, and they're saying like, oh, we want to safeguard against the elections. You got sheriffs coming out saying that it was just a cyber attack that happened in Georgia, and like we said, this was going to happen. These pandemics was going to hit around this period in time. But let's look deeper down into this really quickly. The FEMA camps we've been breaking down, like the one in North Carolina. I got a call from state militia. He's showing me photos of one of the places, another FEMA camp by an old Walmart in this is Alamogordo, New Mexico. So we know what they're setting these up for. He sent me some photos in here too. You're not going to see it anywhere else, where you can see what's supposed to be like, look like military or something next to like trailers. You can see 2 vehicles. He said he'd been seeing them over here. It was an old Walmart. Now they got like trailers and mobile homes and all this stuff set up over there. What's going on, everybody in the chat? So now the coordination between Mexico and Canada, literally like, oh, you think they're going to different warfares with other countries? It's really just a war on us. I keep bringing it back down to this because this is what it's always revolved around. So Lady Gaga, Disease Is Coming is trending right now because she's releasing that single. They've also came out and they've just hosted a chat with the White House about pandemic preparedness. This was just October 24th. The event featured White House Office pandemic preparedness response alongside health system leadership. The COVID-19 response in New York City, city crisis management, an epicenter of the definition of text pandemic. The 400 book was released and written, edited by leadership across New York City health hospitals. They just ran the simulation over there too. They ran the simulation for the bird flu, which in these different states, they're saying specifically they were talking about Marburg in this one. Let's go into it. Preparedness is key in protecting communities from devastating effects of infectious disease. Actually, we need protection from you because most of the time these health officers and the rest of them and these laboratory people are the problem. Said NYC Health and Hospital Chief Biopreparedness. She didn't say that. I just said it. Officer Dr. Syria Madad. NYC Health Hospitals has demonstrated the proactive planning combined with collaboration across public health and governmental bodies is essential. Our work during MPOX as well ongoing efforts to stay ahead of emerging threats like Marburg virus highlight the need for continuous investment in health security pandemic preparedness, which they put a bunch of money into funding Marburg. Throughout the pandemic and every crisis since, we've seen preparedness. It's not just a strategy, it's commitment to resilience. New York City Health Hospitals emerged Chief Medical Officer Laura Lavicoli. So moving back into this whole bill, I didn't even read all of it. Canada's bill is becoming America's future, and Mexico. It says, wherein it is critical to build on the lessons learned from previous outbreaks of serious disease, including severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, Ebola virus disease, and Zika virus, tuberculosis, and H1N1 flu, and C virus from 2019. So they put this in a bundle package. And so remember how we was talking about, well, they're not going to be going into the World Health Organization treaty that was going to take over sovereignty. Doesn't matter, because now they've done this between 3 countries really close to each other. Military style drills was done. This shows an effort that they were coordinating together, and this need to be deeper looked into. And they just announced something about Bill Gates. I'll tell you in a second. New trilateral pandemic health initiative will guide effective coordination and collaboration among North American partners to protect the health, safety of our populations.
So, guys, right? They getting FEMA camps ready. You already know what those are for. Well, they got them ready. They put stuff in place that things over there for certain things. You know what that's about. Okay, you know what all that's for. I mean, you gotta be dead sleep to know what they're trying to do with those right there. Now, not only do they see, once they get that plan of the zombie thing happening, because the other plan happened, they go back to the other plan again. And once they try to get as many folks as they can the second time around. To say, people have to get that because the zombie thing happened. Although they caused the zombie thing. They get as much folks as they can. And then they want control of your mind. They know you're gonna be a zombie out one day. Or if they die, then they ain't worried about you. They're gonna zombie out one day, so they want to control your mind. So they put that. You remember that stuff is Mark of the Beast already. There's 7 Mark of the Beast. And that's in actuality. And I explained them all before. That one is the 6th Mark of the Beast. The 7th Mark of the Beast is the Elon Musk stuff in your brain. The black goo goes in your brain. Venom. It's supposed to be on the outside of you, not on the inside. Black Panther shit, outside, not inside. It's liquid. It's a substance that cannot be controlled. Society was chaotic, but they won't put that in your brain. That's their last part of it. That's the ultimate goal. They control you and slave you. But here's what I don't realize: when they do something like that to a lot of people, they will not able to control these people. These people will not be human, the ones that are human, and the ones who are people, if they see the books, since they're gonna get hardly none of us. And I hope that stays that way. Other books, sorry, not just the Bible, I'm talking other books now. And like I said, at that point, those pretty much got what you want. And they will not really control any of these people are going to be, anything that touches that substance, literally, eventually goes crazy. Yo, You can't make this. You can look this shit up. You can look it up because you can't make it up. So this is what they want for this planet. I told y'all we against an enemy that if they're on some shit that, or if we can't have it, nobody can. That's what the devil's at. The devil know he's losing. He pretty much lost. This is like his great white last hope, so to speak. All right, boy, I tell you. This is their plan. The whole time it's their plan. So it is what it is, y'all. I play more. But these laws, they put into place and so they can get what they want after they got 75% of what they wanted. You know what I mean, people. 75% of the people in the whole world took the, stuff. And now they want to try to get the other 25% who don't want to take it and will not take it. So they trying to make it law that, we got to shut it down because the zombie disease, that's disease X. It happened. No, disease X means just go get the X-Men. Let's try to go poke, let's try to get the Indigo Children and the X-Men. Let's try to go get these guys. That's what it means, right? 2 M's in your hand, main player, master builder, master mason, 2 M's in your hand. Look in your palms of your hand, y'all. Look at them M's. Yeah, they come. If you didn't take this, if you didn't get the you know what, they want you to take you know what. That's why they coming for you. That's what they're gonna try to do. You on the list. You on the list. They want you to take it. If you don't take it, you go to FEMA camp. It's like he put you to death. Because you don't want to take it. And don't take it. Zombie disease breaks out all over the damn world. And because of them, they cause it and then they want you to take it. They got you on the list and they want you to take it. So we just had to wait. And we know it's getting close to where the zombie disease is going to happen. The reaction is going to happen. Did I say that out loud? The reaction? Oh, man, I should have said that. Huh? They don't know what I'm talking about anyway, do they? And then we can Elon Musk them with the stuff that is diabolically crazy when trying to push inside any bit. You are going to see some craziness. I'm going to tell you right now. The stuff they doing is off the chain. It's off the chain. The fluid. Oh my goodness. But anyways, we're not even going to talk about that. We're not going to go that deep with y'all. I just know their plan is seriously crazy. And then the rest of us is left to what? Fight zombies? Like the movie Legend? This is what they want. Zombies and diabolical, crazy, outminded mind people, demonistic, AI computer mix per people, and man. So we got to be I Am Legend. That's what they want. They're hoping that they can go underneath the caves and where the fuck they go and underground and watch the show from there and then come back up when the dust clears. No. They gonna start nuking planet wide, World War III to nuke wide to try to get rid of all the zombies and the other people that turn to other stuff and try to get rid of any survivors who didn't turn to anything because they didn't get to you know what. So they come up and inherit all the riches. No, they ain't gonna go like that. That's not gonna happen the way that's not going. That they don't understand. They remember. I told you a lot of stuff's gonna happen around the same time. And it's all happening so far around the same time. They really want Kamala Harris in there so bad. They are really pushing. Yo, I really, I gotta be honest, man. You better hope. Cause for real, you better hope that she don't get in office. You better hope Trump, you better speak into existence that Trump gets in office so you have a little more time to get out of the city. That's all I'm going to say. If Trump's getting in office, you got at least 2 more years. He really want 4, but he might not survive for 4 because they might, what him before 4. But you got at least 2 more years to get out if he get in there. I'm not saying you get all lasting. Stay comfortable or be comfortable and get comfortable. No, if you can get out, get out. I said again, some nice people that I know, teachers and all other stuff. Yeah, it's almost time to go, y'all. It's time to exit this real soon. Real soon. And I said I'm gonna make an announcement in 3 to 5 months. Some of y'all didn't leave the first time. And I'll make an announcement. And maybe some of y'all want to leave. Because this is about to look like it might get sticky. Trump was holding back all that, take the, stuff and whatnot, have you. He did the best he could anyhow. You see, he slowed that down some. Lucky for y'all, because at first they was trying to do it by force. Trump slowed it down some. And y'all hate Trump. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not even saying I care for any of them. No disrespect like that, but you know what I mean, y'all. You too. You gotta be careful what you say. So I'm just saying, man. I ain't advocating for no side. I'm just saying that's the less evil of side. Still evil. Less of though. You want more time. And isn't it sad that they use Kamala Harrison? And she ain't black. She ain't black at all. She Khazarian. She's a Khazarian. The ones that sit on the synagogue of the devil. She's a Khazarian. And she told you she black. She switch up nationality like the weather, don't she? Ain't that something? And got folks thinking, talking about, vote for her. Vote for her. Why would anybody vote for her? I don't understand. It don't make any sense. But peace and love, y'all. These people are crazy. You know what it's all about. We'll pick up on more of this. I'll try to do one tomorrow. I gotta go do some work tomorrow. So time to get things moving. Get moving more. I'm taking care of more stuff. And of course, trying to get things done faster. Because as we all know, time seems to be speeding up, don't it? So I got to make the best of everything, get it all done, so we can do what we got to do. And also, there's also more news too that I can't share, but I'm not sharing it right now for particular good reason. But there's more than one place to go. I'm gonna say like that. And we'll talk more later. Peace and love to everybody. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and give everybody a nice song. For those who like music, let me get this thing off the screen. We're going to enjoy a song together. Is that all right, y'all? Enjoy some music together real quick. It's going to be quick. Just one. I played Kingdom, didn't I? I played Elephant. I played Elephant was in the room, right? Yeah, I did. I played Elephant already. We gonna play. Nah, we gonna go ahead and play Elephant again. Yeah. Tell it, man. Truth music, Tony, y'all. Let's get it right. Everybody wanna sound so intelligent, but they ain't researching with the heart, so it's irrelevant. Man, somebody scream out the elephant that's in the room, man. Can you handle it? They take the whole game and they took our book, twist the whole thing, smear the text look. If you read it, it will tablets. You see the King James Version is a hazard. Some things the truth, most be not. Was all the real problems, this J is just a thought. They try to put it to you, they give it an idol. What happened to all the real figure disciples? Time to all the real teachers that you don't know. All niggas about me wrong on purpose, nigga, now you know. If you ain't researching and going real deep, you're gonna get rocked all the way to freedom sleep. They deep, but they know, but they know the truth. It's you and me that they don't really want to know the truth. If you God, them God is with God, what the fuck you praying for? What the fuck you need to go hard? If we come together and we stick together, we'll all be together. Every time of weather, there's nothing that ever could form against us. All you gotta do is spirit stuff you gotta trust, because it's in you. It's not within you. Ain't no point looking out motherfucking menu. Got you praying that this guy is that guy, go eat his on your knees. What the fuck, man, I wanna cry. Everybody wanna seem so intelligent, but they ain't research with the hospital relevant. Somebody scream out, cause there's an elephant. It's in the room though. Can you smell it, bitch? Niggas said some shit don't stink. Read all the scriptures that shit make you fucking think. And when I see it stinky with my fucking pinky, I said, oh damn, this shit isn't cranky. Giving me a figma, imagination. Trying to play these games, nigga, what a temptation. You walk on bogus, call a fairy tale. They said they came from the sky, man, you came to hell. Everybody wanna sound so intelligent, but damn, this shit is so irrelevant. They researching with the heart, this is a hazard though. I don't understand. Can you imagine though? Everybody wanna sound so intelligent. They researching with the heart, so it's irrelevant. Somebody scream out, there's an elephant that's in the room, man. So can you handle it? When you read all the books of your research, the lies fall apart, man, like crusty ass old dirt. It don't make no sense. Back for fucking bit. Mom find out she would've had to late. And she don't wanna see it, cause she dead now. I wish she was alive. I give it real now. I give it to her good. I show her the whole book, break it all down. Show her where to look, and then she be like, damn, I told you what Indians, if I didn't understand, they took away all our stuff, man. They took our land from us. I should've told you that. Oh, I didn't know anything, so that's my bad. But that's okay, mama. I still love you. They tricked all of us with nothing else to do. You had no clue. The generation next, you the Puma baby. She didn't know about that. They tricked everybody. See the whole world. All the children, men, ladies, and the boys and girls. Everybody wanna sound so intelligent, but they searching with the heart, so it's developing. Somebody scream out, there's an elephant that's in the room, man. Can you handle it? The elephant is we got to get out religion. We got to get into cohort facts, evidence that can be proven. And everything has a double meaning. But when you read the Bible, you have to decode the book, and it speaks in parables, most of the time in riddles. And that's why you have to do deep search to learn about yourself and of course, they knocked me off the screen. So if we are part of the ether, and the ether is where the only place that God can live, don't we owe it to ourselves to find out all of our secrets? For it's a privilege to find out and to seek out all of the Most High's privilege. Doesn't that tell you that in the Bible? Think about that. Let that resonate for a minute. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. I'll talk to y'all, see y'all, be on the show again, and we'll pick up where we left off. Tons of information. Hold on, guys. Yeah, we'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. Peace and love.